I mean,
I can't unimagine what you just described.
yes or no? Yes or no? He had to.
He had to.
There's no way he didn't. There's no way he didn't.
Yes.
He's not a fucking superhuman.
And when he did it evilly.
Oh yeah, no, he was serious about it. Like you can argue
like it's time to, you know.
Exactly. You can argue that like maybe like I don't know
horrible.
if he ever vocalized it. You can argue that you can't know for sure, but I can know for sure that he's thought it. You know what I mean?
I think he's probably...
You've thought it, I've thought it, we've all thought it. Of course he has.
He's probably said it.
There's no way he hasn't. He doesn't have a different brain than everybody else.
Probably said
Of course,
much more horrible things.
But that one for sure.
That one and many iterations.
There's no way.
Think about how many things it rhymes with.
Exactly. There's no way.
Limitless potential.
That Mark Zuckerberg has never told a girl to come suck the Zuck.
There's no way.
There's no way that hasn't happened.
Oh my God. Everybody's real cool. School's for fools. Cool cats.
Cool cats.
My youngest has started saying cool cats.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? Nobody taught you that. Where did you learn that? Picking shit up at daycare.
You piece of shit.
It should be like cool cats. And I was like, what?
I always want to include new, interesting shit into my vernacular. Like sweet chicken. That was a fun one that I learned a little while ago.
Sweet chicken, bro.
I enjoy doing,
what?
Like throwing in like scientist names. Like, oh, great Darwin's beard or fucking Carl Sagan's turtleneck. What is this? You know what I mean? That's great.
I know what you mean.
Or fucking Adventure Time shit. That's the best. If I can be like, oh, fucking alphanumeric, man. That's great.
Yeah. Do you remember when Adventure Time, because we're old. Do you remember when Adventure Time was just like a small animated short?
On YouTube? Yeah. Yeah, it was like a Nickelodeon.
Algebraic!
Yeah, and the penguins.
Penguins!
It was awesome. And what I loved about it is like it had all the good qualities of that show. Like the show didn't change at all when it got big.
No,
it just got better.
It just had a really like a complicated overarching storyline.
Yeah. That was the best.
With the fucking Lich King.
The fucking
Anytime
Lich.
There's a Lich King, it's like, all right, the stakes have been
staken.
Grandurized. Sorry, I was distracted by the buzzing.
Yeah, there's a fly, and it's a problem, and we can't kill it.
If you hear that on the podcast, I want you to know that we did nothing. We agreed that we should do something, and then just started recording anyway.
Well, the thing is, it's going to take us 45 goddamn minutes to catch this thing. And the worst thing that could possibly happen is that he's going to land on the mic, and all of a sudden you're going to hear, but then like everything else is just annoying us. You don't have to know.
You should put him on the thumbnail. Like, you know, make those like really annoying like YouTube thumbnails that people make with like put a giant fly and we're both like like making weird ass faces at it. And then the huge fake, obviously fake fly, and it says in big yellow letters like the one with the fly.
The one with the fly. If by the end of this episode we are so perturbed about the fucking fly in here bothering us that we're just screaming and losing our minds, and that's the overarching theme of the episode, absolutely. Probably I'll do it anyway. Who knows?
Don't do that. I was making fun of YouTube. I don't want to be the thing I hate.
This week.
It'd be different if we were making a video, though.
Yeah, no, if we were recording the whole thing.
If we were actually doing like a video, it'd be a little bit different.
It's so fucking lame. We talked about, like, before, we wanted to do, like, a full video podcast, and I thought that would be such a cool thing. I still think it would be a cool thing.
Yeah.
But when we talked about that, I was in the middle of a contract where I was going to go do some video work, and they were going to pay me enough to buy a nice camera to do recording and a desktop computer for editing. It was going to be like a decent contract for both those things. And as you can tell by the fact that we are still not doing any of that, that didn't happen. And it was a really, really awesome thing that ended up just going totally different direction than what I anticipated. And I learned not to count my chickens before they hatched. So that's pretty cool. But life lessons. But we're getting there. We're getting there. It's just a matter of growth and getting more followers and more patrons and more donations on Venmo and Cash App and whatnot. And eventually, slowly but surely, we'll make those things happen. But rest assured, on my end at least, I haven't stopped making things. We've got two new YouTube videos that I'm working on right now. Well, one long form video and then like a little mini vlog series idea that I had. And then I've got the next episode of Scientist gearing up, ready to go. I just have to get a couple of supplies. And so like fucking we're just going to continue making low quality content, like video wise, with high quality, hilarious jokes and dialogue and awesome, totally fucking always 100% accurate, no mistakes ever fucking content.
Yeah. Are you talking about your stuff?
Yeah, just mine.
Okay, good.
And Ben will continue drawing.
I'm gonna make mistakes.
Be easy.
That's what I'm gonna do.
But yeah, man, we're gonna make more stuff.
High quality, no mistakes content.
Yeah,
I will continue to provide 100% perfection, and it's not gonna be detrimental to my health.
It always sucks whenever you mess it, because like I'm a science creator, so like I'm going to make mistakes. But when I do,
the word science creator is funny. Like I know what it means because I live in the modern world where I understand that you're a science creator.
Right. But I'm not creating science.
But like if you went back in time and told like a scientist in the 50s, like, oh yeah, in 2021, I'm a science creator, they'd be like, what?
You fucking know.
Okay, well, obviously everyone's dumb in the future.
Yep. But like I'm gonna make mistakes, and like I've made them before, and I pulled down the video where I made a mistake if it was like a bad enough mistake that like changed the whole scope of the video. But like,
oh, wow.
if I make a little mistake that's like it doesn't change what the video means, you know, I might just put in the comments like, hey, sorry, this is not like recently. I did a video. I believe I made the same mistake in my sex and sensibility video. I made a thing talking about chromosomal variations. We're talking about sex and gender and stuff.
Yes.
And I said you can have X nothing or you can have Y nothing. You don't even have to have two sex chromosomes. And that's not true. You can have X nothing. You can't have Y nothing. I misread my own notes from fucking years ago. I just completely misread what I had written, and I botched, and it didn't change the overarching theme because that was one line out of a million other things that I said. So like, it's not like the whole video is garbage now. I just had to put in the comment section like, hey, by the way, I misspoke here. That's not accurate. And of course, by that time, the video already had fucking like 100,000 people looking at it.
People
so like,
tripping.
Yeah, well, it's very few people called me out, and the ones who did it were very kind. And I just commented under there and like, you were correct. I made a mistake. But like before
well, that's
that,
fine then.
Yeah, but like before that, the last time I fucked up was I was doing a thing about Charles law.
Yeah.
It's a gas law, and I said that it's directly proportional, or I said it's inversely proportional, and it's actually directly proportional.
Yeah, but that's like small shit.
That's a big thing.
But it's like, okay,
because that's like, literally changing the way you write the math.
If you go back and you correct it, it's like it
I just redid the video.
If you correct it, it doesn't matter.
I completely I
like
pulled the
with
video down
stuff like that. Like if you're like, oh, whoops, I said the wrong thing, or I thought the wrong thing, or I read the wrong thing. That's like completely different from like, oh, I lied.
Right.
I lied a whole bunch.
Well, that's what I try to tell myself is that
like sorry guys, Alex Jones did.
Yeah. Like I still remember being corrected on how the moon gets its shadows and stuff. I was like 20 something. I was probably about 25, and I was at the science museum teaching that the shadow on the moon is the shadow of the Earth. That the sun's on the other side of the Earth because that's why we have nighttime, and the shadow of the Earth hitting the moon, that's what gives the shadow on the moon. That's not accurate. That's not true. I learned that from Bill Nye. He was wrong. He said something that was not true. It was on his show. It was on the Bill Nye the Science Guy show. That's where I learned that as a kid. And I went and looked it up, and like you can still find a video of him saying that, and it's not right.
So
and
you're
it's
saying
not
Bill
like
Nye's a piece of shit.
right. That's what I'm saying. He's not like he's just fucking not credible anymore. It's not like he's completely just shit the bed and like his whole show's over and he should turn in his fucking degrees and cancel his career. He made one mistake about a thing. I am also going to make mistakes about a thing, but I can't. I know that. But that doesn't make it any less difficult for me.
I don't know if we should admit on the podcast that we make mistakes.
I am so far up my own ass, like about every mistake that I make.
Good.
Is what I'm saying.
We're so good all the time.
You could never find anything wrong we've ever said.
We nail it. Like 100% of our jokes land. We've never said anything questionable on this podcast. It's not like we've done anything like spend 45 minutes talking about the different kinds of like dick augmentations we would get.
It's just hard because like I'm real hard on myself about those things.
No, I know.
So like I feel
well,
bad.
you should be hard on yourself because who else is gonna except for everybody,
Right.
Everybody.
For literally every person.
Except for every single person who watches it.
It reminds me, literally when Ben came over today, like right when you walked in the door, I was talking about how like my air conditioner's still broken, and we bought a little window unit, and we like have the house like taped off with blankets and shit to try to conserve the cold air in one little area, and we're just sleeping in the living room trying to keep cool, and I'm sleeping all day when it's hot and staying up all night to do work and stuff, and like Ben came over, he's like, "How are you?" And I was explaining all this, and your response was just like, "Yeah, man. Well, I'm sorry, literally every day for the rest of our lives is going to be a miserable slog anyway," and just moved on to the next. And that's how I see this, too, is that I get real hard on myself for whenever, if I ever get anything wrong, or if I don't put enough stuff out, or if I'm putting too much stuff out at one time, and that means that later on I'm not going to have enough. And blah. I get on myself for all these things, and like, I just think about shit like that. Yeah, man, it's always going to suck. What's next?
Yeah, it's just a constant success is just constant failure.
Yeah. That's a true thing too.
Inadequacy.
That's a true thing too. Not even like in terms of like doing anything good. That I feel like those are two different lessons. The amount of failure it takes to get anywhere where you want to be, and then the amount of failure you will continue to have when you're there, and you have to make it look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you just gotta trick everybody into thinking that you're. Oh my god, dude! It's imposter syndrome again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do we ever talk about anything new?
If you go back through this entire podcast, we've really said 4 things. We've said the government sucks. We've said that. What?
When did we say the government sucks?
If we haven't said it yet, we're saying it today because it's almost the 4th of July, and that'd be a great topic.
I know that we were going to talk about the government.
We've said that the government sucks. We've said that lying and bullshit and religions and misinformation suck.
I don't think we said it.
We've said that we suck.
We did say that.
And we've said that we're not comfortable with this. Those are the
we
4.
Started off just saying that
and at one point we said the word dick over 60 times in an episode.
Those are, okay, so that's the history of the show.
That's the whole show. That's what you've been listening to.
What you missed, just in case you weren't. Okay, so, and then today you wanted to talk about...
So today, so it's almost the 4th of July. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was what that means.
What is the 4th of July for those
to most people, like to a lot of people in this country, like because as you know, we could say the 4th of July is Independence Day, but it's Independence Day specifically for like white male landowners. It's those are the people that were free. It was the day that everyone in America was free from British rule, but they weren't free to be like considered human beings yet. And like not enough people talk about how long it took for like each other group to also be considered humans, you know? Like, and especially with like all these discoveries in Canada now about these children being buried in residential schools. And I know, it's Canada, not America, but like we fucking had them too. Canada. And people don't remember like the last residential school in America closed in 1996, if I remember correctly. So like It wasn't until, I believe it was the late 80s.
96.
96. Yeah, I'm 90. Look that up. I'm 99% sure. It was in, I know for sure it was in the late 80s that Native Americans were able to decide like where their kids went to school at all. It was still completely legal for us to force them to send their kids to school off reservation and like go get indoctrinated somewhere. But that's even just that. That's even just the fucking nightmares of these fucking boarding schools. Like, Native Americans weren't even allowed to be fucking citizens until the 1940s. Native Americans weren't allowed to be Americans with full voting rights.
1996.
It was 1996, yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking natives weren't allowed to vote across the board until fucking the 1940s. And like that's
Native Americans. That's what what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like it's the irony of the fucking sentence.
Chinese people.
Native Americans weren't God, what the fuck? They weren't citizens?
Specifically Chinese people weren't allowed to be citizens until the 1924, I think. It was a year before my grandma was born. 1924. So
and it shows.
Yeah, right? The way that they are still treated today, absolutely. And like that, it's what gets me is that like we have this Independence Day. You know what I mean? We have this day where we're like, hey, we're not fucking British anymore, and that's radical, super cool, awesome, blow some shit up. I like the holiday because it's the only day of the year that people don't question me blowing things up. But the rest of the time, people look at me sideways. But like
the rest of I wonder what...
the rest of the year, I mean. But yeah, like fucking
constantly throwing explosives.
It's all the time. My neighbors, they do not like me.
I know.
The whole thing that I'm trying to say is that like it's not Independence Day for everybody. It's independence from the British, but it's not independence. It's not freedom. It's not equality. It's not liberty. It's not enfranchisement for a huge amount of people. Even if you want to say, oh well, white people are like the vast majority of the country. When did fucking women get the right? That's half of the fucking people that you're saying are the majority. So like.
All right, so I'm hearing you. I'm hearing what you're saying. We need a new holiday.
We need a new holiday.
We need a new holiday in the summer.
Yeah, because we just
celebrate everyone.
We just got Juneteenth, and I believe
a lot of people are like stressing about that for some reason.
It's because I think they actually called Juneteenth National Independence Day. They named the holiday that and like the federal thing, and that's why a few Republicans voted against it. They were like, I'm super cool with us doing this, but we need to call it something that isn't the same thing as July 4th, where people aren't going to know the difference, and it's going to be really... Like, of course people know the difference, but it's fucking weird, right? And, like, I don't disagree with that. Fucking give it a different name. I still vote for it. I would still say it's a good thing to have, but, why
wouldn't they just give it a different name? It's a separate holiday anyway.
Right?
You want it to have its own thing.
Exactly. Why not just give it a different name? And also, back to the thing we talked about, I think on the last episode, fucking, it's just another opportunity now for fucking rich white people and corporations to fuck you. It's the same. These fucking people. Do you know how many of these big corporations use fucking prison labor?
Selling shirts for
that's the whole exception of the 13th Amendment. Fucking, you can, we're not gonna have slavery unless you commit a crime, and then we can pay you fucking nothing to go work in a prison. And we have a lot of corporations that use prison labor that are gonna be like, yeah, Juneteenth, yeah, you guys are free, woo. The same way that they're like, hey, yeah, LGBT, you guys are equal, be proud, yeah, and then literally donate millions and millions of dollars to fucking congressmen that are gonna give them tax breaks and fucking like keep trans kids fucking out of school and shit.
Well, listen,
and tell you what bathroom to use.
I don't know why we don't just have like
fucking stupid
unisex bathrooms.
So fucking stupid. Everything should be co-ed. Everybody should just be able to piss next to everybody else. We should just have a latrine. One big fucking pit in the middle of the country. Everybody goes there to dump. That should be it.
In the middle of the country?
Right in Kansas. Kansas didn't do anything else.
It's like a fucking like shit mecca.
Oh my god. You caught me when I was drinking. Shit mecca.
Well, you said in the center of the country. You're smack in the middle of Kansas. So people have to go on a pilgrimage to take a dump.
Just every morning.
And it would be ironic, like the people going in a circle around it, and like it would be instead of like the statue or the rock, it would be like, it would be,
just traveling, looking for a place.
it's just a giant like trough that people shit in.
Oh my god!
This is probably I'm probably upsetting some people, and like I'm not even trying to.
We're not.
I'm not saying Mecca is shit. I'm saying it's the shit Mecca. It's like the Mecca of shit. What?
Oh my
Clarifications.
god. Oh my god. Oh,
you get what the fuck I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, of course. But like fucking I don't know. What got us to shit Mecca?
Yeah, you're visualizing it. You can't stop.
Mecca. That's so stupid. God, that's so stupid. What got us to shit Mecca? What were we talking about right before shit Mecca?
Let everyone shit in the same trough.
Somehow or another, we were talking about.
Was you were saying it's trans rights. You were talking about
that's
rights.
what it was.
And everybody's independence.
Wow, it looks even worse knowing that that's where it came from.
Yeah, you were saying we need to free everyone from the British.
Yeah, including trans people. Free from the British.
I would say especially trans people.
They more than anybody. But yeah, like fucking it's just another opportunity. Juneteenth is just another opportunity for fucking rich people to fucking do bullshit. Did you see fucking
It's just another fucking no post office working federal holiday.
Did you see the
freeloading
display?
Post office work? No, I'm just kidding.
Did we talk about
post
this?
office workers work really hard.
They fucking do. Good God. There's a reason why going postal is
who work in the post office and they seem like they're having a crazy rough time.
It's absurd how much they work. Have you heard? I think we talked about this last time, but I don't remember if I talked about it on the podcast or just with you privately about Amazon on Juneteenth. They had like workers were like showing pictures. They gave all their employees to celebrate Juneteenth. They gave them like T-shirts that said Happy Juneteenth that were just like from other Amazon locations. They just like they only had so many, so they just fucking sent them off across the country. Doesn't matter where you were from. Like if you were in Kansas, they were like Happy Juneteenth. In Wisconsin, here's the shirt, fucking. And like then they gave their employees a free lunch of fried chicken and cornbread. How is that not an absurdly bad taste? And then there was
to celebrate Juneteenth.
Yeah,
is that like the Juneteenth meal?
It's a fucking racist thing. It's a stereotype. And then fucking there was a Target as well. This wasn't all Targets, but there was a Target that was people showed
Target.
At one particularly racist Target where they set up a display for their employees. It was a Happy Juneteenth thing. And it was like free fucking Kool-Aid and hot sauce and like watermelon and shit. Like just absurdly racist. And like very, very obviously going out of their way to just fucking make fun of this. And what I can't fucking wrap my head around is like, I understand that's just one Target. That's just one asshole. The Amazon thing, that was like huge distribution centers. You could still argue it's just one asshole. But like going back to the point about like with the pride shit and everything else, this is when these fucking rich white people are going to fucking go take a vacation. The essential workers, the people in fucking low-income areas, the people who have been historically impoverished, black workers predominantly, are going to continue to have to work on this federal holiday while the bosses fucking take the day off. It's another holiday for them. It's not a holiday for fucking everybody. None of them are. No holiday is a holiday for fucking everybody. Even the ones that everything closes down. Like, oh, Christmas, everybody's closed. Except, Walmart stays open. And like, there's a lot of people who can't afford to leave, so they're there too. But it's a federal holiday. It's the fucking rich bosses that get the day off. There's no such thing as a fucking federal holiday where everybody gets to.
There's just almost no holidays.
It can't be in this country. It doesn't make any sense with the economy that we have. And so what I'm saying is,
where anybody gets a day
I am
off,
super duper into Juneteenth being celebrated and being memorialized and being a holiday and being talked about more and being taught. I love every second of that. Fucking, I am so sick of politicians and corporations acting like they fucking scored big points for civil rights because they get to take a day off. You know what I mean? That's what how fucking, and then
damn son,
and then you have shit like that with the fucking, what I was just saying with the cornbread shit and the fried chicken. They're rubbing it in your face that they're fucking making fun of you. How fucking obvious can they make it? Like, do they have to fucking come out and spell it out? It's like with fucking the beginning of COVID. When fucking our senators fucking sold stock,
all their stocks, and told us that everything was fine.
Exactly. And then in Flint, when they fucking told the people, no, the water's fine, we tested it, it's fine, and they were very clearly lying. How fucking obvious do they need to be?
They were like, we know it looks like it'll kill you, but it's fine.
It's fine. How, like, seriously, I just don't get it.
Looks like polluted.
I don't get how anybody has any fucking faith.
The water in Flint fucked kids up for life.
Yeah. We have ghost town. Here in Oklahoma, we have this place called, Pitcher, Oklahoma. It's way up in the northeast, near the border to Kansas. And it was a mine. I think they were mining zinc, if I remember correctly. But there's lead. There's a fuckload of lead. And there are these huge fucking mountains, like these big piles of dirt called chat, which is just the leftovers, what they dug out of these mines and just piled it up. And they are full of lead. And kids used to go sledding down the fucking chat hills. And it's in the water and it's in the fucking everything. And it's a ghost town now. I think there's like 2 people that still live there. It's a ghost town. Because everybody who lived in this bustling little city got lead poisoning and had fucking permanent brain damage for the rest of their lives. Because capitalism is the whole thing here. And like, that, we have that shit all over America. We have situations like that. We have fucking politicians screwing people all over America. Fucking go ask a veteran how life is here back in the stateside, where they fucking come home and they've been blown to shit and now they're fucking, not useful anymore. Go, like, fucking, just it's just so blatantly obvious that the fucking owners don't give a shit. And I don't know how they can make it any more clear without just coming out and just saying fuck you. But like,
yeah, but they have so many people convinced that that's not how it is.
That's what I can't understand.
Yeah, but those people
are
convinced, and you can't change their mind.
You have fucking,
you cannot change enough minds.
Every single person, no matter what they think of the government, no matter how indoctrinated they are, whether they're Democrat or Republican, everybody knows what a lobbyist is, right? You know that somebody can make a living, a career, out of just going up to a politician and saying, hey, here's a bunch of money and dinners and yachts and fucking all sorts of things.
And neat
Make
stuff.
sure you vote this way. And the politician goes, okay.
Okay.
And everybody knows that's a thing. And we actually
you see more of that politician's ads.
Exactly. We have a word for that in science. It's called corruption. And like,
science.
you can't fucking, can you afford a politician? Can you afford a lobbyist? How much money do you have to go to DC now?
Can you imagine if we could?
That's what I'm like, seriously.
Donate to Forrest and Ben.
That's what we need to do. We need to open up a lobby.
Yeah, we need to make a fucking PAC.
For fucking bullshit. Oh god, if we started a fucking super PAC, it'd be rad. Stephen Colbert already did it better than anybody's ever going to do it. It can't be a thing right now. But like,
really?
Honestly,
I think we could do it.
I don't. Everybody, no matter what they think of the government, knows how corrupt it is. Everybody knows that if you're not fucking rich, they're not going to listen to you.
Yeah, but okay, so after Citizens United and all of that shit, and
where now we've decided that corporations are literally people.
Everybody really, that's not news.
Except for, hold on, excuse me, I'm sorry. The Citizens United is where corporations are considered people, so they can donate to political campaigns.
Yeah, it created corporate.
Except they have a completely different set of rules.
My
donate.
BPM is 104.
You're already freaking out
right now. Because
we've got like you. What was I saying? Shit. They are people, so they're allowed to donate. Yeah, they're people, so they're allowed to donate, but they have a completely different set of rules on how they can donate. Yeah, you and I can only donate a certain amount. Corporations, however, can do it totally differently because they're people, but different people.
Because they're people. Because if we don't let corporations donate on fucking on campaigns, then we're limiting the corporation's free speech.
Right, because corporations can speak. It just.
It's like, no, here's the thing. I understand the logic behind it, and I think it's bullshit.
Right.
I think it's fucking bullshit. The people who own the corporations can speak. They have their one individual opinion just like everybody else.
Right.
That it's bullshit to be like, oh, the companies can how the fuck can a company have an opinion?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand that, yes, a company can have an opinion, right? Like, technically.
Right.
But should they be influencing elections?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No.
They're like,
fuck no.
Walmart's opinion.
Sorry, I get very upset about this shit.
No, that's
they ruin everything.
Everything.
They ruin everything, and they have so many people convinced that, like, oh, well, that's because, like, and that's the problem, man, is that it all comes back to the fucking fact that, like, it's going to be, if you have a fucking true capitalist system like we do, like this, it really is the strongest will survive. It's like we said in previous episodes talking about our foreign policy and shit, like might makes right. Mm-hmm. So it's like you take that's America's motto, apply that to the corporate world.
Yeah.
So now you've got what we have now, which is huge companies. They get bigger and bigger. They make more and more money. They take more of the wealth. They swallow up all the other small companies, which are the places that really provide the backbone and everything. Like, when there's an economic collapse, and there probably will be an economic collapse, and when it happens, like, all the big, if fucking one guy owns everything, and there's an economic collapse, and that one guy loses fucking 80% of his worth, and he owned everything, then that means everything lost 80% of its worth.
Yep.
If the worth is distributed not evenly, because it's never going to be like that, but if it's distributed more fairly between individuals and small companies and little local places and stuff and states and all that, if it's dispersed more evenly through that and there's a catastrophe, the fucking net doesn't completely explode. It doesn't completely like disappear.
What gets me is like,
but there's no infrastructure like that. It's all being pulled at the top. So when it does blow up, it's all going to dry up.
What fucking pisses me off,
and normal people will starve to death. That's the thing. Normal people will starve to death.
That's where we're at now. Is what fucking kills me. That's where we're at right fucking now.
Yeah, but wait until it's fucking 80% of people instead of fucking what it is now. Wait until there's things like fucking, what were they called? Like Hoover cities or whatever.
Oh, Hoovervilles. Yeah.
Hoovervilles, like, wait until... And there already are. There's a handful of places in America that could be considered shanty towns.
Yeah, absolutely.
That nobody, like, really talks about. We should probably look those up and do some research and, like, actually give some numbers on that at some point.
But, like, what gets me is that, like, nothing...
Native Americans live in shanty towns.
Nothing has changed for, like, 100 years in terms of political discourse at all. Because here's a quote from President Harry Truman.
I like where this is going.
Yeah. So this is Harry Truman in 1952. He said... Socialism is a scare word they have hurled at every advance that the people have made in the last 20 years. Socialism is what they called public power. Socialism is what they called Social Security. Socialism is what they called farm price supports. Socialism is what they called bank deposit insurance. Socialism is what they called the growth of free and independent labor organizations. Socialism is their name for almost anything that helps all the people. He goes on to even say more on that. He says, when the Republican candidate inscribes a slogan, "Down with Socialism," on a banner in his Great Crusade, that is really not what he means at all. What he really means is down with progress, down with Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal, down with Harry Truman's Fair Deal. That's all he means. So, like, that's a little bit more specific, but, like, that's that one line in there. Socialism is their name for almost anything that helps all the people. And that is still... true. That was in 1952.
Yeah, but a lot of people still have a skewed definition of who all the people are.
And here we are 70 years later having the same fucking conversation. Fucking anything that helps people is, that's socialism. We can't do that. Look at Venezuela. They're eating rats in Venezuela because they're socialist. As if that's the whole... They all just fucking gather around. Hey, let's be socialist. I like the taste of rat. Yes, that's exactly what we should do. Like, that's the whole fucking picture. Is we became socialist and then the economy collapsed.
Right sauce on a rat, it's probably pretty good.
I'd eat it if I had to. But
Anyway, but you're a stinking socialist. Anyway, so what's really going on in Venezuela? Why is it the way it is?
Oh, it's a fucking corrupt-ass government.
Oh, yeah, corrupt-ass government.
Just corrupt-ass government. That fucking government's corrupt as shit. They're eating fucking tiramisu and shit, and the people are fucking starving in the streets. It has nothing to do with socialism. And even if it did, fucking what we're talking about isn't goddamn socialism. So, like, we're talking like that, and that's the thing, is that, like, half the shit that these fucking people bitch about, that there's, we don't want socialism. Well, those people are benefiting from things that have been called socialism. Just in there, Social Security. How many people are bitching about socialism, but they take out Social Security? How many people are bitching about socialism, but they fucking drive on roads that are paid for out of all of our tax dollars? How many of them are bitching about socialism, but they have their kids in public schools? How many of them are bitching about socialism, but they drink water from a municipal plant that the city pays for?
Actually, most people drink bottled water because they're not...
Fuck those rich bourgeoisie assholes and their bottled water.
Actually, most normal people drink bottled water now because they've been conditioned over like the past 40 years.
If you fucking told me, like, fucking...
And after what happened in Flint...
Things that fucking people need to live...
even more bottled water.
...are fucking bottled and sold.
Did you think it wasn't coming?
It's crazy to me.
Wait until they bottled.
That's how we grew up.
Wait until you have to buy air tanks, dude.
Yeah. Like fucking into the Lorax and shit. Like, that's how we grew up. You know, we grew up in a world, you and I, specifically, my generation, our generation.
Now we sound old. Here we go.
All right.
Here we go, bringing the old man talk. Back in my day.
We grew up in a world where everything is fucking... the 90s. It was the 90s. Everything is commercialized. Everything is a commodity. Everything is fucking bottled and sold and packaged and shit. There's nothing is free. We're constantly at war. We're always in a recession. Two major big ones that we've lived through. But, like, overall, nothing's ever good. The economy's always fucking going down. You and I specifically were very poor. So we learned real quick how much the government gives a fuck about your food stamps and shit like that. Like, we grew up in a time where we saw politicians get worse and worse and just lie out the fucking both sides of their mouth, and, like, that's clearly not a new thing, but now we can watch it and, like, really fact check it. But no matter how much we fact check it, it doesn't change. So we learned that the information we have does nothing. We are the Patriot Act happened when we were kids. So we never really knew what a free America looked like ish, free-ish, I should say, but like that was when we were young. And it's only gotten worse. Gen Z now, fucking, they can't we've said this before, I know. Fucking, they can't balance a checkbook. They don't know how to fucking do algebra, but they do know how to hide from a shooter. So, like, that's cool. Like, it's just getting worse and worse. And, like, we also grew up in the dawn of the internet. We grew up with, as Bo Burnham said, a little bit of everything all the time. There has never been a time in my life that I can remember, since I've been able to know what a computer is. I've always had access to it. My parents always allowed me to get on the computer and look at whatever. There's never been a time when I haven't been able to look at any fucking thing that I want to see around the world, random crazy nonsense. And that sounds really cool, and it is really cool.
It is,
but it also can fuck your mind up. You know what I mean?
Like, Forrest is a horrible freak now.
I am. God, I'm weird.
A horrible, horrible freak.
And that also has gotten way worse, as people are just like more and more and more on the internet, more and more on their phones.
He's judging you. Forrest is...
Oh, no, I'm following right along with it. I'm right along kink shaming. It's just, man, like, we are in a very fucking weird time that isn't like any other time in history. And I know everybody, fucking every generation can say shit like that. But, like, I'm hoping beyond all hope that we're at that fucking precipice where things actually fucking change and get better.
It's funny. I was listening to like another podcast.
You fucking traitor.
Always, and they were talking about it was that series on the Black Plague, the death, the Plagueis.
Darth Plagueis.
The podcast. Anyway, and they were talking about like some of the people like who like during these times, like during the Dark Ages and shit, who were like like modern, and one of them said something that I thought was really interesting, like just to think about, which was that there's kind of always been like modern people.
Yeah.
Modern people are always like kind of just born and exist throughout history. Like, and then he was like, there's always like these people that are just kind of, they exist in these times, and they're always kind of like, wait, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
and I was like, that is fucking like that's.
Yeah.
There's always people existing in every time that are kind of just like, what the fuck?
Hey, does anybody else notice this is fucking shitty?
Yeah, like, what?
That's honestly what I think is happening now is that more and more people are able to do that because of we talked about this with the proliferation of social media and information sharing. We're able to have conversations like that faster.
Fucking muffin.
Ben just found a fucking cupcake off to the side of the couch. Hell yeah. But fucking, there's like, yeah, that's the thing, is more and more of us are able to now just kind of stand up and be like, hey, does anybody else notice that this fucking sucks for literally everybody except for like 3 assholes in DC? Like, is that really how we want to run this shit? And what fucking gets me, like, we've talked about, like, the people who say, like, these jobs have to pay a small amount because that you have, upward, you have to have incentive to work harder. So what you're saying is the people who do this job need to be poor. That's the best case scenario. That's how it has to be. And like I know we've made this point before.
Some people say yes, dude.
It's that, yeah, well, like that, the argument is they shouldn't be rich. They should want to go out and work harder and get richer. But that's not how it is. You literally can't afford food and rent. Like, right now, you need to work 3 hours to buy a fucking burger from the place that you're working at to make burgers. That's insane. That doesn't make any fucking sense. And so, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, the people are like, no, these people need to keep this job. What they're saying is, I think whoever does this job needs to be impoverished. Whoever does this job needs to be facing homelessness constantly. That's the only way this job works, and that's fucking crazy. But what gets me the most is the people who are at that low level, which is most of the fucking conservative Republican types that you see going out at these MAGA rallies now. It's not fucking rich assholes. It's not fucking people with a 6-figure income going out to these rallies to go rah, rah, rah. It's just average Joe like you and I who are fucking scraping by, who are a little bit behind on their bills, who have mouths to feed, who are worried about their kids. I'm not making fun of them. I'm in the same fucking boat. I don't know how I'm going to fucking pay my bills half the time.
Yeah.
That's why I want wages to be normal. So that way I can make sure I can afford that. Because right now, we've had...
No, Forrest, you're trying to make sure that nobody ever gets rich.
I'm trying to make sure that everybody has the opportunity
Forrest
to have food.
Forrest is trying to make sure that nobody ever has the most money more than anybody else.
No, somebody has to. Somebody has to have the most money.
So that you agree capitalism works. Somebody has to have the most money.
But by the most money, I don't mean more than literally 50% of the rest of the people. It can be like, hey, I have more. Like I'm in the. I have so much money that, like, I don't know, like 30% of people don't have as much money as me. I don't know. It's I don't know how this fucking statistics is working in my head. I'm just saying, when the bottom 50% of the country combined is less than your fucking paycheck in a day, get fucked. Like, I can't. The people who, like, I know we've talked about this too. I'm sorry.
Forrest, you hate wealth.
I sound like a broken record probably, but fucking Jeff fucking Bezos makes more in a day.
The Dragon King.
Yes, he makes more in a day than most Americans make in a lifetime. Most Americans will never make as much money as Jeff Bezos makes in a fucking day, in a week, in a fucking hour. The man makes my fucking yearly salary.
And pretty soon, his company will probably control all the fucking shipping.
God.
Pretty soon, they'll have robots delivering it all. It is hot in here.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the thing.
Jeff Bezos makes...
fuck that, man.
He makes $321 million per day.
People don't talk about...
You will never have that much money. If you're never going to have it.
God.
And he makes it in a day doing nothing. If Jeff Bezos sits on the throne for he makes $3,715 per second. Jeff Bezos makes in 1 second more than I make in 2 months.
And he's not even doing anything. He's making, like, other people are getting paid to do that.
And it's
they make less, and it's also...
It's really
it's a pyramid
easy.
scheme. But,
right. It's really easy to say that, like, oh, I sound bitter. Like I'm fucking just over here like, man, I want that much money. I don't want that much money. I would rather die.
I just want to not be worried about whether or not I'm going to have a place to live or food to eat.
But, like, the American dream, like, ask any average American, hey, would you like to make $150,000 a year? That's a huge amount of money. $150,000 a year? That's like you've worked your whole career to get that. Jeff Bezos makes that literally every 60 seconds. In a minute, he makes $150,000. Fucking, it's not fucking, it's rigged. It's bullshit. If that's possible, the system's fucking broken. And if it's happening, the system needs to burn to the ground. Burn it down, start fresh, try again. Everybody pass go. Everybody collect $200. Like that.
Well, you heard it here, guys. Forrest said, "Eat the rich."
You know what though? If I haven't made that clear, eat the fucking rich.
Forrest is an extremist.
We're hungry down here,
dude. We're hot.
It is hot. It's fucking hot. You know, I could afford a new air conditioner if I had Jeffrey Bezos' money for literally half a second.
I don't want to. God damn it, Jeffrey.
That's
buy us a fucking air conditioner.
You son of a bitch.
Damn, if he subscribed to the podcast.
If Jeffrey Bezos ever listens to our podcast, fuck you, Jeffrey Bezos.
Wait. If he donates...
Still fuck him.
2 air conditioners?
Okay, I'll take the air conditioner.
If you donate 2 air conditioners...
Still fuck you, though.
Still fuck you.
I won't say fuck you, Jeff Bezos, for like... Probably about
he doesn't give a
48
shit.
solid seconds.
If Jeffrey Bezos came to your house right now, it would be he'd open a briefcase full of like $1 million and he'd say, "But I get to fuck you in the ass, raw." And you'd have to say no or get $1 million.
I'm not going to publicly state whether or not I would take.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't admit what the things that I would do to save the podcast either.
Right, right. That's a life-changing amount of money.
He just fucking lands his helicopter in your fucking driveway.
I can help a lot of people. And all I got to take is that weird bald dick for just a minute. Like, it's hard. There's a good argument. You know what I mean? It's selfish. It's selfish to say no.
Is he reptilian? You think so? He seems like, if anybody looks like a lizard man, it's Jeff Bezos.
Fucking creep. Oh, it's so weird.
That's the thing, though, is you have to be like that to get where he's at.
Cold-blooded?
Reptilian.
Yeah.
It is weird to me that these people could be doing a lot more. Like, they could have done a lot of, like, he could have done a lot during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
He could have done a lot.
We could have had, everybody could have had we could have helped with the vaccine rollout. We could have bought PPE for everybody. We had literally doctors wearing trash bags. We ran out of fucking, like, gowns and shit. We had actual doctors wearing trash bags like parkas to try to save people's lives. Jeff Bezos fucking increased his wealth extremely. And it wasn't just him. Bezos, Gates, Tesla, goddamn, Musk, Buffett, all them motherfuckers. They made so much money during the pandemic. They made billions of dollars during the pandemic, and they just completely siphoned it away from you. Whoever you are listening to this, you. If you pay taxes in this country, they took it from you. They fucking took billions of dollars and hoarded their wealth some more and became even fucking richer while the rest of us were literally struggling to survive because Walmart didn't have fucking bread or toilet paper or anything else. While we were all scared shitless, I was waiting in fucking line outside of Walmart, standing in the cold, fucking shivering with a mask on, waiting to get inside so I could scramble around and try to find some meat that was us. And they were making billions off of you. We were fucking shivering in the dark. And they were selling stocks.
All of them. And they all, like, work together on it. The big...
Fuck this place, man.
Big business.
Fuck every part of
and
that.
Big politics. It doesn't really matter. It's like George...
It's the same fucking thing.
It's like the late George Carlin would say. It doesn't matter. Big business and big fucking government is the same. It's the same fucking guy.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. It's just...
It's a big club and you ain't in it.
Exactly. And that's, you know, it sounds like the fucking crazy, oh, it's the Illuminati. It's not some fucking clandestine secret
real.
It's not some fucking clandestine secret organization. It's right fucking in front of you.
It's literally Congress.
It's just called Congress.
It's just Congress.
It's the corporate oligarchs that run the fucking country. It's not like a fucking big secret.
Yeah, it's like they always want to be like, oh, it's like 13 families rule the world. And it's like, yeah, kind of. If you look at that map of corporations.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Fine, yeah, sure.
I think we talked about that earlier on. Like fucking USA
How
Today.
big is Nestle?
Seriously. It's like, oh, fuck me with Nestle, dude. I think it is
Fuck
Nestle.
you with Nestle.
Fuck me with the Nestle. Isn't it Nestle that they keep buying up water rights all over the place?
Yes.
And
they're buying up like natural water resources in the States.
Yeah. And there's a lot of places.
People living here in the States are losing their access to free water.
Yeah, because there's groundwater, and there's literally laws on the book. I don't remember if this is just in particular states or if this is like a federal thing. I remember they've taken advantage of this somewhere. That like the law is whoever owns the biggest water pump can take as much water as they want, and that's the whole law.
Yeah,
and like,
it's mostly like in big rural states.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. But there's a documentary. It's probably I bet it's still on Netflix. You'll have to look it up. But just look up water documentaries, Nestle water documentary, and you should be able to find it.
I seem to. It's been over a decade since I've seen it, but I seem to remember Blue Gold being a really good one.
Blue Gold is good. This is different though. The one I'm talking about. The one I'm talking about. They interviewed the head of Nestle quite a few times for it. Like, he was actually in it, fucking talking about why, you know, I don't think it's a human right. Maybe it is a human right, but I'm selling it. I don't know.
Right.
He just circle talks the whole fucking time.
Of course.
He just fucking, I'm a sneaky snake.
He says that.
He says, I'm a sneaky snake. Where are they based out of? Fucking Sweden?
I don't remember.
Sweden?
I don't remember.
He's a sneaky Swede.
It's just like, it's fucking disgusting.
He's a sneaky Hollander.
And here we are, like, hey, everybody should have access to like water, and that statement would elicit a fucking violent response from half the country. Be like, oh, you fucking socialist!
Yeah, why do they?
If you don't fucking work, why do you deserve water? It's like fucking because I'm a goddamn human being. You fucking troglodyte.
I'm over here, and my argument for things like that is literally just because we should, and people are like, why should you? And I'm like, I mean,
right.
I think it stops at we should.
Yeah.
Like, I understand what you're saying, but it's like I don't want to spend any time trying to justify giving people food, shelter, and water.
Precisely.
I don't want to spend any more fucking time talking about why it's acceptable in the modern world in which we find ourselves.
Yeah. And that's what I keep like. It's because of course
bullshit.
I can sit here and give you an intelligent argument as to why I think every human being deserves fucking like basic human rights, but I shouldn't fucking have to. And the fact that like it feels fucking gross to try to explain it to somebody. You know what I mean? It feels wrong to sit here and have to like, oh, okay, well, first of all, we need to agree that like everyone has a right to be alive, right? Right? Like if you're born, you should like have like right. No? Okay, well, let's start there, I guess. So, like, we don't choose to be born and, like, just break it down little by little. Like, okay, like, you're talking to fucking kindergartners. Like, we need to fucking all get along because, remember, like, this person also has feelings. Like,
yeah, that would be terrible.
The only fucking argument from the other side has to be fuck them, I'm not them. And that's what it all boils down to is fuck you, you're not me.
No,
I only care about me.
America is fuck you, I got mine.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
And we brought that up before, I know, but it's always going to be true.
And that's what fucking sucks.
It's always going to be true. The thing is like, I don't know how you... so many people's opinion is literally like whether they want to admit it or not. Because most people are and want to believe that they're good people, right?
Sure.
And most people, on a reasonable level, are in fact good people. Like most people aren't gonna go commit a random act of violence.
Mm-hmm.
Most people aren't gonna like be like rude to somebody for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time. Unless they're lead-addled baby boomers. But anyway, most people are genuinely out there trying to be good, but then they have these incredibly harmful opinions.
Right.
Like, some people don't deserve food and water.
Yeah.
And it's not even that, because they won't say that. They won't say, oh, they don't deserve it. They say, like, why do they deserve it? As if that gets them out of it. And I'm trying to figure out how you argue with that standpoint.
See,
I don't know how to do it.
That's the thing.
Because I'm not good at getting to that point. I'm basically stopping. Like I said, I stop it like because I said so almost.
Right.
Because why not? Because I know what it was like to not have food. Mm-hmm. Or not have a place to live. When I was supposed to be worried about my grades.
Right.
And you guys are like, oh, well, like you need to you put your nose to the grindstone and get where you need to be. And it's like, yeah, so I didn't do exactly what I should have done all through middle school and high school, right? I didn't do exactly what I should have done. I also moved a million times.
Right.
I went through abuse.
You were living in a car.
I lived in a car sometimes.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of bullshit going on.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly want to say, oh, that's an excuse or make that an excuse, but at the same time, it's like when not you, but like when people try to act like I've had the exact same opportunity as everyone else,
right?
Sometimes it's frustrating.
Yeah,
because it's like, no, like not. I haven't.
Yeah,
I really haven't.
And that's what gets me.
It was different.
Is fucking people are like, oh well, just you gotta work hard. Okay, cool. Tell that to this literal child. Here in Oklahoma, there are 14... This is me
who had it fairly easy.
And what's crazy is that you're not uncommon. There are 14,000 homeless children here in Oklahoma right now.
Not even in the slightest. I was one of like a shit ton.
Yeah, exactly.
One of 14,000.
Go tell those 14,000 literal children to just pull themselves up by their bootstraps and work harder if they want to eat. Fuck off. Like, I can't...
But they're saying, so you got to put them in foster care. And it's like, okay, well, that
that's work. Better. Yeah.
That doesn't work. So what could we do, Forrest? Could we maybe come up with some sort of program that like keeps families together, and gives adults who are failing their children more resources to become better parents?
You mean like
and some won't achieve it. Those kids will still go into foster care, but some will actually use these resources and stick together. And now you have kids that grow up with their family and they survived as a family unit through these hard times. And now those kids are more resilient.
So what we would need,
can do more shit.
If we were to have a system where like our government provides
these
resources,
are pipe dreams, dude.
If we were to have a system where our government provides resources that like actually help these families out, it would also be important that like those people that are like struggling and are working and all these things, that they also like participate in it, and that like they like design the systems themselves and like kind of help out, because nothing about us without us, like they say with the disabled community, but that goes with everybody else as well. Just like, if you're gonna make shit for us, include us in the conversation. And then also we should also
like how like BLM just wants a seat at the table half the time.
Exactly. And just let us fucking participate.
Everybody acts like that's the fucking end of the world. Like to make an oversight committee.
Exactly.
Would be like just the worst fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like
and then
what's that? You want somebody who can have a minor opinion on it's like, oh yes.
And then we also need to make sure that these people, these families, these struggling people, these minorities, these disenfranchised groups are also actively like not just like making these things, but actually working in these things. They are a part of it. They are controlling it. They're helping to make sure it's working properly and not being bastardized. So we need a system that is made up like of the humans that are needing help, that is designed by those humans as well, and that is directly benefiting those humans. You could call this a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Some sort of fucking representative democracy, not a corporate oligarchy where a bunch of fucking bug-eyed salamanders fucking get to pay a politician to do whatever the fuck they want, and the rest of us just eat shit.
Why do you always call them bug-eyed salamanders?
That's what Bo Burnham called it. I love it. That's my favorite way that anyone's described this
all
in a long time.
I thought you came up with that, or I thought maybe you knew something about the Newt people.
Newt people. But yeah, just it's fucking not. It's not
all about
fucking
the
crazy.
head ridges.
The head ridges.
Look at his head ridges. Reptilian.
Yeah, just it's not fucking. That's what gets me is all these fucking people that are like, oh, this is all socialism and we can't allow these people to. That's literally supposed to be the point of what this whole fucking thing is. This whole experiment into democracy for the past 200 years. The point was supposed to be that all of us fucking participate and make it what helps us.
I would say the point was to avoid taxes.
Without representation, yeah.
No. The point was to avoid taxes, and they did that, and then they all died, and they left everybody with a country to run. Yeah.
It just sucks dicks, man.
I'm totally right.
Like when people throw around the word liberal. They're like, oh, you're just liberal. What do you think the word liberal means? Everyone listening to this, stop whatever you're doing and go look up the word liberal. I'll do it with you right now.
I think it means you're a little nanny. A little ninny nanny. Little
Liberal definition.
A little boo-boo butt baby.
And here it is. And it has a few different definitions. The one that I'm going for is this. Relating to or denoting a political and social philosophy that promotes individual rights, civil liberties, democracy, and free enterprise. That is the definition of liberal. If I were to tell you, we have a country that's all about individual rights and civil liberties and democracy and free enterprise, but yeah, it's America. Yeah, that's the point. Because America was founded on the idea of liberalism. Where do you think the fucking word libertarian comes from? It doesn't come from strong conservative family values. It comes from individual rights, individual freedoms, civil liberties.
If there's one thing I wish these conservatives would do.
And then they also went fucking batshit, and they're like, you shouldn't have a license to drive a car any more than a license to run a toaster. And it's like, fuck off, dude. You fucking...
Well, really, some people should probably get their toaster license, too.
For real, like, in all fairness.
I mean, like, I used to... No, that's a horrible joke. I used to use the toaster in the bathtub. Then one day... I didn't. I didn't anymore.
Didn't. Toast got wet.
Toast got wet.
It's bullshit. You can't have that. You can't have that.
I remember when my grandma used to try to put butter on the bread and then put it in the toaster, and I was like...
Like a fucking sociopath?
Yeah, I was like, Grandma, you're being a sociopath.
That's how you go to hell. You don't do that. Fucking...
Oh, man, that's her worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Literally. She's probably not in hell.
She's just making faces.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do on podcast is make faces
that no one can see.
Yeah, you can't see shit. The audience can't experience the full thing. Only you get to experience what it's like to be in the studio with me.
It's awful.
Yeah,
it's awful, y'all.
Dicks out.
If
it wasn't so fucking hot over here.
If anything, that should be more reason for us to be taking our pants off. We could be fucking doing this whole podcast trousers down.
I think I'm wearing gym shorts under this too, so it would be fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
I am very not. But like the whole thing about like the liberal bullshit where everyone's like, "Oh, you fucking liberals." That's the point of America, yo. And like what you have to remember is that like all this shit that's now, like we've said this on the podcast too, I know, that like the most quote quote radical leftist people are like kind of just left of center for the rest of the world. We're an incredibly right-wing authoritarian country. And
even our most liberal
places have fucking cops in them that are going to tell you like, oh, well, in this day and age, we just can't trust anybody who's out here just taking pictures of the police station on a public sidewalk, so we're going to need your ID. Like, no, you fucking don't, because that's not how, like, rights work. And like,
oh, but it is, Forrest.
And like literally today, I was on fucking TikTok and I saw this fucking guy. It was literally that. I forgot what he was doing. He was that's right. He was walking around giving business cards. He had like a lawn care service or something, and he was going up door to door and just leaving a business card on a doorknob.
That's fine.
That's all he did.
Do that in my neighborhood all the time.
Yeah, he was a young black man in a white neighborhood though.
Oh, and so did it in the wrong neighborhood.
And so this cop is like literally grabbing him Like, you need to tell me who you are and what you're doing. He's like, no, I fucking don't. What am I doing wrong? He's like, you're not doing anything wrong. He's like, okay, great. Then I need to go. I'm going to leave. Well, we had a lot of burglaries around here. Do you expect me of breaking into anybody's house? Well, I don't know. If you don't know that you suspect something or not, then you need to let me fucking go, because I have like these whole like human rights and shit. So like, no, and the comment section on that video, he's just full, just comply, and you'll be fine. What's the problem with just complying? And like every video that I get of somebody getting the shit kicked out of them by the police, and they're like, just fucking comply. If you weren't resisting arrest, just comply, just do what they say. And it's like, yeah, sure. So your whole philosophy is just follow orders and you might not get beaten as much.
Those people,
that sounds real fucking free.
Don't do that. Now, here's the thing. When dealing with the police, you should always just comply.
I super disagree.
No, you have to. Because here's the thing.
You'll die.
They'll kill you.
Yeah, that's true.
So here's the thing. You can fight.
Philosophically, I super disagree, but you are correct.
You can fight anything they throw at you with an attorney unless they kill you.
Mm-hmm.
If they kill you because you wouldn't just comply, bro.
Right.
Then, and the thing is like, you'll get lost in the fucking nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what you were doing. But yeah, I mean, there's still videos coming out every single day where you can see a young black man in America be harassed by, like, not even by police, but be harassed by people who call the police and use the police as a weapon against them.
Right.
So, like, that's my least favorite thing is a lot of times when you see, and then, like, even the police are like, we're not, as half the time, we're not sure why we're here.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
we're like, a lot of times even cops are getting to the point where they're like, people are just calling people and like, what the fuck? Like, there was this dude who went into like I can't remember, it was like a Kroger's or something.
Yeah.
In a strip center, and he filmed the whole encounter. They made him leave. They said that, he was like stealing or something, and he was like, what are you talking about? And they were like, somebody said that somebody matching your description was stealing at a different store, 2 stores down on the strip mall or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, so he was like, I'm going to go to that store and I'm going to find out. And he goes in with the police. The police go with him. And he was like, did you call the police saying that like I stole something? And they were like, I did call the police. You're not who was stealing. Yeah. Like, you're not the one at all. You're not the person at all. And he's like, okay. So then the cops go back with him. Because he got banned from that store, like, immediately. So he goes back in just to tell, like, he's like, I just want you to know that, like, she said it wasn't me. Yeah. And they were there. Yeah. And it wasn't me. And the lady's like, okay, well, that's fine. Well, you need to go. And he was like, yeah, I want the cops to come get. So the cops went in and got like the corporate number for him and shit and all this stuff and brought it out to him and let him go. But the fact of the matter is this dude had to spend like 45 minutes dealing with this shit.
And you can
when
argue,
all he was doing was walking through a store.
Right.
I'm leaving work. I go stop at CVS on the way home. I go in. I buy some things. I leave. And I go, what if like I had, instead of like, we'll say like a 10% chance of that turning into some sort of 45-minute ordeal, I had like a 50 or 60% chance. Right. Every time I go try to run a 10-minute errand, it might turn into a fucking hour-long encounter with police.
You might be on the ground
where I have to remain calm and not lose my temper. Like, oh, baby's waiting on the fucking formula, but don't resist, just comply. Yep. And all you were doing was like riding a bike home or driving. Right. Like, it is ridiculous, because like, it is ridiculous to not even be able to be empathetic to that at all.
You can like make
Put
the argument.
Put yourself in people's shoes, man.
Seriously, that's exactly where I'm going with this. Is that you can make the argument very easily. If I can do that with
law enforcement, then you should be able to do that with other people.
You can make the argument that like, oh well, they got a call, they should go check it out, because what if it's serious? I totally understand that. I would rather them, if I call, I'd rather them check and just be safe, because that doesn't fucking happen a lot.
And that's part of the job is due diligence.
The Supreme Court has already ruled that they do not have to protect or serve you. They have already let a lot of people die knowingly because they just chose not to do anything about it, and they've gotten away with it because they don't have to, because fuck this place. It doesn't matter. The point is, I'd rather them go do the thing. However, I also fucking think that they need to have a fucking brain in their head, and if they can see, hey, this person's just literally standing here doing their own thing, we can kind of check. All right, it's fine. Like, there needs to be strict laws. Fucking being a police officer should be the hardest fucking job in the country, I think. It should be one of the hardest fucking things to do. Not in terms of like physical labor, in terms of it should be incredibly difficult for you to actually function, to do anything. You should have to file a mountain of paperwork every time you draw your gun. Because you are deciding at this moment whether or not you are going to literally end someone's life. Normally, we have a trial, you go to death row, we figure shit out, we have this whole thing, the governor's involved, we have a million different steps, and we still fucking get it wrong. We still have massive amounts of exonerations, finding people out, pulling people off of death row because DNA evidence comes out and finds out that they were just black and nearby and it was bullshit, they were there in the whole point. Like, we still fuck it up with this huge process. You really think that you're fucking Texas Ranger and you know right from wrong better than everybody and you can just judge the situation and fucking pow and then you solve the whole world saved now? Bullshit. It should be the hardest fucking job in the world. You are taking away someone's civil liberties. You are taking away their freedoms. You are taking away their lives. You should be under so much fucking scrutiny. You should be under so much fucking surveillance. You should be monitored all the time. We should be able to check everything. That fucking kid, I forgot his name. It's a new development that just came out. It was a fucking white kid and his friend were tinkering on a truck, and the transmission was broken. And they fixed the transmission as best they could. They were giving it a test drive in the middle of the night, and they were out driving with this truck, and it wasn't quite going right. They got pulled over. The transmission's broken. They're working on it. So the truck's rolling back. They can't stop it. So the kid gets out with a car with a jug of transmission fluid to wedge it under the tire. He's holding a can of fluid. It's a huge fucking jug. The cop's like, oh, that's a gun. Shoots the kid dead. Murders him immediately. So the public's pissed off. This just happened. The public's pissed off right now. And people are saying, oh, well, we want to see the body cam footage. That should be the first thing that we see, right? So the police department says, we're going to review the cam footage. We're going to review it first before we allow you to see what actually happened. Will to see it. That's fucking not shady at all. It's been a week. And now, after a week of reviewing the body cam footage, they said, there is no body cam footage. Turns out his body cam malfunctioned. Oh, and so did his dash cam. There's no footage whatsoever of the incident. It is now the word of this adult officer against the 16-year-old kid that survived. The passenger in the car.
Are
so
you
this 16-year-old
fucking kidding me?
It took them a week to figure out that it doesn't exist? No, is that what we're hearing?
They destroyed it.
It's fucking bullshit.
They destroyed it.
Do you remember when, and I can say the police because this happens all the fucking time. I did back in 2016. I did a report of one in Kentucky, I think. But this happened. Look up the police and destroying rape kits. That happens everywhere in America. They fucking fill up the evidence locker. They take rape kits. Poor woman gets assaulted. They do a rape kit. They swab her and check for DNA. They put it in a box. They put it in a vault. They forget about it. And then fucking years and years later, they're like, this is taking up too much room. So they just incinerate them.
Yeah.
No crime solved. Nobody goes to jail. This is why fucking, I believe it's 0.006%, 6/1000ths of a fucking of the time somebody actually goes to jail for fucking rape in this country. Like, people fucking act like we have this beautiful justice system. You're very likely to get away with a crime in America.
Yeah, we also have a shit society.
Especially if you're in a big city. If you fucking kill somebody in Detroit, you're probably going to get away with it.
Really shit society. You shouldn't be broadcasting that.
I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying.
But we have a shit, everybody gets raped. And then if you get raped, all of your friends and family treat you like shit.
Do you know why,
the way it works.
And you know why is one thing about it.
Society is shitty to you forever because of it. And,
your brain
is shitty to you and your life is horrible forever.
There was a poll done at some university.
Unless you get therapy. You gotta go get therapy.
Oh, God, yeah, please. I really hope you have the opportunity to. Please do. But
it wasn't your fault.
There was a study done at a university, I forgot where exactly, where they polled males, they polled men, and they were like, hey, would you ever rape a person?
It's hot as fuck.
It's very hot. It's very hot. It's not as bad as it was last week. They polled these men, and they were like, hey, would you ever rape a person? And the vast majority of them said no.
The vast majority.
Some of them were fucking a little too honest, but whatever.
Probably somebody.
And then they asked them, would you ever, coerce someone into sex after they already said no? Would you maybe use force a little bit? Would you kind of just like, if once you get started, then it's already started, so you just kind of make sure you finish? Like, would that? And there were like a huge amount of them were like, well, yeah, of course, but I would never rape somebody. Like, there was like a huge gap that like 30-40% that said they would never rape somebody, but they would hold somebody down and fuck them against their will. And, like, they don't know that that's rape. They don't get it. We don't teach boys, like, hey, if a girl says no, that means you shouldn't do anything anymore. It's like, if she says no, that means you gotta try harder. You gotta be more persistent. You know, a woman likes it when a guy doesn't give up. That's what we fucking teach people, is that slimy shit. And so many people from these studies are like, of course I would never rape somebody. That's disgusting. That's evil. But I'd absolutely fucking rape somebody, though. You know, it's like, it's insane. It's insane to me how fucking prevalent rape culture is in this country. The way that we fucking sexualize people from fucking babies. We talked about that.
It's really confusing, though, and people don't know really what... Like, most people don't understand what rape culture is, and they think there is no rape culture. It took me a long time to understand what the fuck people meant when they were talking about rape culture.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm not a rapist.
Right?
I don't think
but it's not all men.
Yeah, it's like...
If you're the type of person to say it's not all men...
It could be most men.
We're talking about you, probably.
It could be most men.
Mm-hmm.
It could be any man. Any man could rape. It's true, though.
Put that on a t-shirt. Remember, kids, any man could rape.
They could, though. It's not a joke, it's a cautionary tale.
Oh, man, it's so serious, and that's why it's so fucked up.
It's so serious.
Oh.
Son of a bitch!
Fucking... You can't fucking... You can't
what?
have that.
You can't have what?
You can't have a fucking society where everyone just fucking feels like rape's negotiable. You know what I mean? We can't have a fucking world where we're like, hey,
they do.
Just maybe sometimes it's cool if somebody fucking sexually assaults somebody. They can still fucking be on the Supreme Court. We can't have that. That's not cool.
We do.
I know we do, and that's what makes me sad. Tears up my insides, man. Like, fucking working out with Squee. You know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
Fucking, the Kavanaugh trials. He's fucking sitting there sobbing with his calendars. My dad read me these calendars. And if you follow the timeline of what he was saying, like, he did it like 3 times when he was like 16. It's like, he read these calendars. I went to the gym, worked out with the boys with Squee.
I liked beer.
I like beer. I like beer. He fucking screamed about how much he liked beer when asked if he's ever gotten blackout drunk. And I'm like, that's the answer then. Like, you just answered the question beautifully.
Fuck, dude. And then everybody was like, I can't believe y'all should be ashamed of yourselves for how you done did this, man.
How you did.
And I was just like, hey, shut up. Shut up. It's an important job.
Right?
Shut up.
At the very least, we should treat everybody like this.
Yeah,
Isn't this what you want?
I think when somebody becomes president, maybe we should parade them up and like give that, like they should be roasted immediately.
Absolutely.
First day in office, they should get like the super roast.
Just like Comedy Central style, we pull Snoop Dogg out. He's gonna fucking tear your ass up.
It's just like, now that you all voted for this person,
let's talk about why he's a piece of shit.
All of his past. Let's look at his past voting record.
Yep. Oh my god.
That would be beautiful.
It would be so cool if people gave half a fuck about who they were voting for.
It's funny because if I were in charge of everything, the government would work a lot better. But also, if I were in charge of everything, we'd all be done for.
Oh.
They'd be like, Ben, why are you having American workers build the biggest toaster? And I was like, the world's biggest toaster is going to be the biggest toaster the world has ever seen. And then we're going to celebrate by making the world's biggest piece of toast.
And also
the Great Lakes.
I was going to say, yes, we're also going to make the world's biggest bathtub. Full circle.
Full circle.
No more wet toast.
Can you imagine? If I can
2024.
fit the entire U.S. population into the Great Lakes while we make the toast, we'll be able to get in the Guinness World Book of Records. Book of World Records. The record book. Don't worry, America. We're going to be great.
Again.
And then I just lights out. Just fucking lights out. Sorry, guys. That was fucking horrible. That was dark.
I loved it.
What I'm saying is I think there's still hope.
You're talking about murdering everybody in America in a fucking giant toaster, but there's still hope. Oh my god. How do we get stupider every week? It's amazing.
It's because of, I'm telling you that it's gonna quality much improve when the AC's back. Because after in the last 30 minutes, we're both just like, oh man, I wish this was over.
It's just hot. Well, it's because we closed the door.
We have to.
We had to.
I think we need to. God, it makes me so sleepy. I think we need to circle back and just really hit home on the fact that we don't celebrate diversity enough in this country, and I think some people, and myself included, in the past would argue that we celebrate diversity too much. Actually, no, I would have never said that. But you know what I mean. People say it's everything is about diversity now, to the point where it's we're pointing out our differences and that's the problem and it's all this shit, and it's not really we need to kind of point out how different everybody is and how important that is.
Yeah.
And how much that matters. And also how, we're not protecting everybody equally still. Mm-hmm. And we need to get on that.
It's be real rad if we could figure out how to, make sure, everybody has, rights. You know? That's what, fucking... Rights. That's what I was literally shouting from a fucking street corner this last summer, is that it's time for America to grow the fuck up. We've had almost 300 years to figure this shit out. How are we still fucking having to argue about who to discriminate against? How is that still the fucking problem? How is that still what we're doing? I'm so fucking tired, man. I'm so fucking tired. I'm tired of constantly being fucking afraid that if I fucking drive, I might get in a wreck and my whole life is fucking over because I can't afford to go to the doctor. I'm so fucking tired of being terrified that if I go visit a school and do a show, fucking somebody's gonna fucking shoot up the school.
This is the part of the episode where you talk about how you're tired of the schools and everything and the healthcare and the government.
Tired of all of it, man. I'm tired of fucking having to debate people about who should and shouldn't get equal rights.
Fucking 80-degree weather.
I'm tired of fucking having to argue about whether or not the planet's fucking dying.
Oh, it is.
We literally have places in Canada that are hotter than places in fucking Dubai right now. Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, so that ice shelf recently just fucking departed.
Yeah.
Can you maybe explain to some people real quick? Just give people a nice. We'll call this segment a dose of science. Why is that bad?
Well, now I feel bad because I'm not prepared for this whole thing. I can talk about why losing ice is bad.
Why is it bad to lose the ice for us?
So here's the thing, okay?
What are some there's so many bad things can happen from this shit.
Yep.
You could really just pick one. Just pick one bad thing and then we'll come back next week and do another.
Yeah, sure. So for this week's dose of science, you heard it here first, folks. That's what it's called now. Dose of science. Great fucking thinking.
Watch out for the microchips.
We'll talk about why fucking it's bad to be losing sea ice and glaciers and shit. It's because, you see, that ice is on land. It's up out of the water. And so
Tell me more.
When it becomes in the water again, or actually becomes the water again, what tends to happen at that point is that there's more the water. And so then the water is more and it rises on the coasts.
Okay.
If we were to raise the sea level by 2 inches, we would lose hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet of coastline. And that's an issue because about 50% of civilization across the whole world is on the coastline. And this is not a later problem. If you look up, like, for example...
What do you mean? You mean this is a now problem?
It turns out it's a fucking 50 years ago problem, and now it's a very big problem for now. If you look up pictures of, like, Venice and shit, like, there are places that are already fucking, like, underwater. Cities that were built on the water, like Venice, that were built on the rivers. Like, there are places like that are already experiencing just extreme flooding all the goddamn time. All across America, there's extreme flooding in fucking, like, New Mexico and shit right now. And nobody seems to connect the dots that when there's more water happens. And, like, that's a problem. So when we melt these glaciers, we melt these ice caps, we're putting more water into the environment. And so more water is going to cycle through the environment. Bigger rains, bigger hurricanes, bigger fucking, really all-weather events, bigger fucking tidal waves and tsunamis, bigger tides, less coastline for people to live on. Like, this, it's not fucking difficult to figure out that when this ice melts and goes into the ocean, there's now more ocean that we have to deal with. And we have less land to live on. It's not controversial,
the
yo.
ocean is so big for us.
Did you know that? And that's exactly the problem, Ben. Did you know that? Here's another fun fact. This is
getting bigger.
Yeah. Florida during the Pleistocene used to be like fucking 4 times the size that it is now. Do you know where Florida comes from? Here's the story of Florida.
No,
this is
not
some,
really.
These
I've probably seen it, but I don't.
Right. So here's some true facts. Florida used to be underwater. Used to be the continent was tilted differently. During the Pleistocene, the last ice age, the glaciers that covered the northern like 2/3 of the United States were so fucking heavy. Number one, as they moved, because glaciers move, by the way, they scraped out the Great Lakes. That's where we get the Great Lakes from. That's why they're still freshwater lakes to this day. They're just glaciers, or glacier water. There's just full. That
was a nice sound.
But the glaciers on the northern half of North America were so heavy that it turned the whole continent into a seesaw, and it pushed the northern half down and literally pulled Florida up out of the ocean. And Florida used to be way, way, way bigger because of all of these ice caps that were containing all the water. So the sea levels were way lower, and Florida was fucking huge. And then slowly over the last 100,000 years or so, these ice caps have melted, and Florida became Florida shaped. It's the shriveled scrotum hanging off the bottom of fucking America. I think it's working. So
that was a disaster.
What
a journey.
It's 3 days later now. So
cut to 3 days later.
It's just shitty.
Okay, but it's not what we thought it was going to be.
That's not. So here's what just happened. My computer broke. Is what happened
while we were recording.
While we were recording,
an hour in,
the
roughly
almost an hour and a half in, the whole thing just.
Fuck yeah, I guess we were. We were almost done.
Yeah.
We had probably like 5 minutes to go, and we probably would have wrapped it. This is good.
It just completely just shit itself, and we lost everything. And
only today,
I have been working so hard on this thing to try to get this just to even run the goddamn program again, and. Ben, it's the ass crack of dawn. It's first thing in the morning. Yeah. Ben and I both have things to do today, and we were like, all right, it's Sunday morning now. This is the day we're putting this out.
The episode's supposed to go out.
Yeah, and we're like, okay, we have to get this. We're just going to make a new episode. We're just going to come over first thing in the morning. We're just going to record a whole new episode. And literally, as we were setting up to record the new episode, I'm sitting here trying to get this thing to turn on, and I finally figured out a way to recover the file. And
it's still there.
It's still fucking there, and we don't have to record a new episode. You can actually hear the thing, and now this is us now.
3
Today,
days later.
This is July 4th.
July 4th.
Ending
Happy
the thing.
day.
Happy Independence Day. The one
Sure.
I'm pretty sure we just bitched about a few days ago.
Yeah.
to
For
do
like
this.
a whole episode, we complained about it.
Oh
and
my
like, I have
gosh.
work today.
Yeah.
So
like what we were talking about, how you like this is there's no such thing as a real day off. You're going to work today. I'm going to work today. I've got research to do. There's there's no way out of it. Like so
like I have to go to work, and granted it's like Sunday, so it's normal Sunday hours. It'll be a short day,
right?
Which is nice. But like I'd rather not go at all. The thing is there's gonna be I know I'm gonna be people. Here's the thing. The holidays are are literally just to distract you. Because most people still go to work on holidays, and then the people who don't, they get to go out and spend money. And that's what it's really about. I used to think my grandpa was like a cynical old bastard when he said it's all about capitalism and it's all about money and sell. He would say stuff like that. And I thought he was just crazy. And now I still think he's crazy, but he was right about some things. He was right about the holidays. They're bullshit. The only holiday, like even Christmas is bullshit. It's just a consumer bullshit holiday. The only reason I even like Christmas anymore is because I have kids and I like to see them be happy.
Right.
But like, you know, so like seeing them, I'm like, oh, I remember when I used to get that warm feeling on Christmas morning. Like that's really cool. But to me personally, I don't give a shit about it.
Literally, today I was looking at something on my phone, and it was like, the saddest thing in the world is for anyone to wake up on Christmas morning and not be a kid. I'm like, fuck off, fuck off. I wake up every day angry.
It's pretty sad.
I am awake, but at what cost?
I know every time I wake up on Christmas and I'm not a kid again, I'm a little bit disappointed.
Oh, it's you know what though?
No, but it really
it's like Christmas today.
Holidays are for children.
We don't have to do a whole other podcast today. It's like Christmas. It's wonderful.
It is. No, that's really cool because we came over here because, like, again, as we said, I have to go to work.
Both of us slogged into this room with our shoulders so low, just like let's fucking do this.
Like, I literally, the only reason I was going to do it is because I'm addicted to podcasting. And also, I didn't want to not put an episode out. I thought for a split second, I thought about being like, calling you and being like, hey man, it's a holiday. What if we just say like, oh, we didn't put one out? But we didn't tell anybody we were going to do that.
Right.
So it feels fucked up and dirty.
It sucked. Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, like fucking, like I was working on this all last night, and I missed my my live stream for my patrons. I do a monthly VIP live stream on the first Saturday of every month, and like
so they're gonna crucify you.
Well, they're very forgiving. They're incredibly nice people.
They should
like
be.
They shouldn't be for what I fucking do. My God, but like I was sitting here working on this, literally thinking about like, oh man, when I go live, I'm gonna have to let them know that like I did all this. It's gonna be a great story. And then I looked, and it was like almost the next day, and I'm like, fuck. And like I just sent an apology. It's like I'm hoping this episode being recoverable is some console. How do you say this?
Consolable. Somehow, no, that's not right.
I hope it makes it a little better to know that like we got the product, the thing that you're paying me to do worked.
Hopefully, it doesn't remind you of your parents. I don't know.
Oh, we know.
I don't know.
I'm doing the makeup live stream. I'll go live with them next week probably and do a makeup.
It's only
thing.
Right.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna just like not do the thing that I said I was gonna do.
But yeah,
I just feel shitty that I missed it.
So I geared myself up to be ready to just bitch about 4th of July as much as possible. And now we're in here, and we still have the episode.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I don't know.
I'm gonna listen to it, and I'm gonna.
I know that like I still think holidays are bullshit. That's where I've come all the way around to completely hating all holidays. Fuck it. I like someday I'll probably have time off again, and I'll like holidays a little bit because I'll see my kids or my grandkids or whatever. At this point, I'm banking on like I'll get to see my grandkids.
Someday the struggle will be diminished enough that I can just enjoy a day off.
It shouldn't be this way, and that's the thing. It really shouldn't be this way. And I was bitching earlier. I got on a tirade before you got me in front of the microphone.
Yeah.
Just fucking going off about, because we were talking about like CEOs and stuff.
So many tirades. We were sitting here trying to work on this, and we were just talking. And like my favorite one, you got an email on your phone, and it's like, oh, it says my bill is ready. So what? I'm still not gonna pay it.
Okay.
Thanks for telling me, I guess. I'll deal with this
ready.
Next month when you cut my shit off.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
really
ready
upset.
every time. It's fucking... Like when I pay it, they give me another bill. Like I swear to God, I don't know what's going on. I'm so confused about the time frames for my internet.
Here's what it costs for you to have paid us. That's a thing. When you pay on the phone, I don't know if this is what they're saying. It's just Oklahoma. We fucking outsource our bill payment shit.
Processing fees.
Seriously, the fucking the Pike Pass shit here.
They're making you pay the card processing.
We
fee.
exactly. When you pay by phone, you have to pay extra money for them to process your card over the phone. Cox Communications, if you pay over the phone with a robot, it's free. But if you have an agent process your payment for you, it's like $15 extra to talk to a human. And then we have here in Oklahoma, we have turnpikes everywhere, and we have this thing called plate pay on some of the turnpikes, like the creek.
Here's the thing: plate pay should be on all of them.
Yeah, where you just drive and they scan your license plate and they send you a bill in the mail. And
because the first time that happened to me, I was like, "Why the fuck did I get a ticket?"
Yeah, exactly.
All I could think was like, they're mailing me tickets. I was like, I don't even remember this. Like I had to use it said I had to go this way. I was freaking out. I was like, no, it's plate pay.
Do you know?
You're fine. I was like, fuck these people. I'm gonna.
Do you know where Plate Pay is located, the company?
No, but it's Georgia.
Texas.
It's Texas.
It's in Texas. We pay a Texas company to install these things, monitor these things, run these things. They send the bills from Texas. We pay the company in Texas, and then Texas gives a cut to Oklahoma. Fuck it, what? And we were like, oh, where are the jobs? Texas, apparently. It's the stupidest fucking thing. Oh my God.
It's all fucking weird tax haven bullshit.
It's so dumb. It is just like, oh my God.
That doesn't make any sense.
And
that's like
Oklahoma,
how most of the like real estate here is like not owned by people in the state.
We just changed the logo of Oklahoma, I think last year, to this dumbass multicolored star. And we hired a company in Canada to design it. We hired a Canadian marketing firm to design the Oklahoma logo to look like something like native. Like Native American style. And there are native artists here in the place called Native America that could have made something really fucking nice. We hired some Canadian marketers to fucking make... Oh my God.
Really weird.
So stupid. Everything. It's hard. It's hard
also,
not to
the
like
new
just...
logo is shit.
It's so fucking ugly.
It's so dumb.
It's so
like
ugly.
A modern fucking like it looks like a business.
Our logo was a Hopi fucking shield.
Yeah, it looked.
It was a Native American fucking shield of the Hopi tribe.
It represented the people who were here before.
But we hired some Canadian marketers to make something that looks native style. That's fucking ugly. Oh my God, I can't handle it, man. It's hard not to come across as really condescending when you're just bitching about how stupid everything is. But fucking everything's stupid.
Well, and that's what I was getting down to with the holiday. Like, holidays aren't for us, right?
You were talking, and then I started rambling.
We're all well. That's what this is going to be.
This is the show.
Because of the way, and especially the way we're doing it right now. This particular
the
episode.
Way everything is.
But because of the way it all is. But that's what it is. Like people, decent people that I talk to all the time will come and try to defend these like multi-billionaire people like Jeff Bezos and fucking man, what the fuck is his name? I was going off about the CEO of Activision.
Oh yeah.
Because I think we all know Activision makes a pretty penny.
Yep.
And they keep laying people off. A few months ago, they laid off like a whole team of 190 developers. And then reported record revenue again.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ways they do that, and this isn't Activision just by themselves. This is all these big corporations. Mm-hmm. One way to increase your profit, your bottom line for your stockholders, is to have a bunch of people work really fucking hard for 6 months straight to a year. Mm-hmm. Or whatever, how long... Like, with a game, it's a development cycle. So it could be anywhere from, like, a year to 3 years. Who knows?
Right.
But anyway, they go through that. They work their asses off. not sleeping enough, not being paid enough, working their fucking asses off. The video game industry is one of my favorite industries. It's also one of the most abusive industries in the world, and I want to do a more long-term or long-form episode about that eventually.
I know nothing about it, so it'll be a great one.
They abuse the fuck out of everyone.
Oh my god.
The people who make if you play video games and you love it, I love video games. I think they're an artistic expression.
Yeah.
I think they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I love them.
The
people who make them are dying.
Yeah.
They're being tortured. It's fucked up.
I'm playing The Outer Worlds right now. It's fucking masterpiece.
The Outer Worlds is amazing.
Gorgeous.
I cannot, in good conscience, support my favorite industry right now. I do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm an American piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I know I'm wrong for it and that people are their families are fucking suffering.
Yeah.
And it makes me fucking angry. And one of my goals someday is to have a studio. If I ever have a studio and I run it like that, I hope somebody puts one in my head.
Yeah.
There's one thing to push people and be like, hard work. You're staying late. You're working extra. Fine. You're choosing to do that. We're all choosing to do that together. That is one thing, but like these crunch times and shit where they overwork people and it's mandatory. You have to be there.
Yeah.
And they don't care about their mental health. Fuck that.
You've got to fucking, like, that's the thing.
So this dude, it's like John Kotick or some shit is his name. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. But the CEO of Activision, so like they're laying these people off. He's getting $200 million bonuses once a month. Does this guy need that much money?
Right.
There's a lot of people celebrating his pay cut. He cut his pay in half recently. To appease shareholders, basically, but they still laid everyone off.
Right.
So everybody's like, "Oh, look, he's doing the Iwata thing." I don't know if you're familiar with what Iwata did.
Not
Nintendo, when he was running Nintendo, he's passed away now. But when he was running, is that Iwata? Yeah, it is. Yeah, when he was running Nintendo during the Wii U, the sales were fucking abysmal because the Wii U was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And so he halved his pay.
Yeah.
And the reason he did it was because he said if the company's failing, it's my failure.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then he did that so that they didn't lower the workers' pay. And that was part of his thing when he halved his pay, was that the workers don't get laid off and they keep the same pay. And everybody was like, okay, they agreed to it. This guy isn't doing that. So stop comparing it to that.
He already had more money than God.
Already had more money. And so did Iwata, by the way.
Right.
Iwata had more money than he needed when he halved his pay, but at least he actually helped somebody when he did it.
Right.
This guy isn't doing that. He's helping the bottom line of the company, maybe. But he's still able to make like 200 times what he makes with his bonuses.
Exactly.
Or some shit like
so
that.
Like he's halved his pay, and now he's only making
my
more
main
money than
point
he'll ever use.
is that a lot of times when people talk about when we have this argument, should we eat the rich? Should we not eat the rich? People who are in favor of not eating the rich, often, especially a lot of like small business owners, like people I would consider the backbone of America.
Yeah.
They defend these people. We all know why, because they hope someday they're going to be like that.
Exactly. They don't want to fucking...
Or they say, like, well, these people took all the risk. They made all the investment. And it's like... And my main point earlier was that, like, when you're a smaller company or a smaller business, like, yes, 100% true. Usually an individual or a small group of individuals are taking all of the risk.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't deserve more money at my job necessarily for what I'm doing. Like, I don't deserve to get paid like the person who owns the whole business and pays for all the inventory and stuff. That makes sense to me.
Right.
Right? I'm just working there. Makes complete sense. Jeff Bezos is a fucking piece of shit dragon man. Okay? He doesn't give a shit about his workers, any of them, not a single one.
Oh, no.
He doesn't care about anybody but himself. And people like Jeff Bezos, people like this John Kotick or whatever the fuck, like people who get to these CEO positions, these executive positions, the executive class of America, and they are a fucking class.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only person to say this, but they're fucking leeches, man.
Yeah.
So what they do is they continually take money out of these companies, they run them into the ground, and then they fly off on their golden parachute. When they leave, they're richer than they've ever been. They're not hurting for money, and they're going to go start a job as a CEO somewhere else, and they're going to go do the same thing.
Precisely.
The people, everybody under them is either fucked, scrambling to try to keep the company afloat, whatever. But those people aren't going to see those billions and billions of dollars.
No.
They're going to go down with the ship.
It's not for them.
And this is what constantly happens. When you see a big company you think is too big to fail, and all of a sudden they're filing for bankruptcy, it's because they fucking had like 3 CEOs come through. Yep. Like, it's just a fucking... Like, I remember whenever I worked at Radio Shack and they went bankrupt the second time, and Joe Magna Kaka, or whatever the fuck his name was like... was talking about all the stuff he was going to do, and then like I see we're going bankrupt, he's getting millions of dollars on his way out. On his way out, this same guy. So like, and this happens over and over and over and over and over again. When you see a CEO who seems way too personable, like if he's got a personality about him, he or she, they have a personality, they seem really interesting, they're doing a lot of lives, watch that company. Because I guarantee you it's about to fail.
Huh.
If your CEO likes the spotlight too much, and especially if they're new, if they just come in and they're making all kind, they're like, man, I can't. Well, I love this company. Oh, I love everyone. We're all great. That person is about to send you down the river. I swear to God. So stop defending these people because Seriously. You're not. I understand where the idea comes from, right? Like, oh, they did it all. They had to do it.
Fucking, it's
but most of
capitalist
them
propaganda.
did. Most of them, like I said earlier, most of them were born rich. They're gonna die rich. They were born richer than you'll ever be. They're gonna die richer than you'll ever be. Mm-hmm. And they didn't do as much as you think they did, if anything, to get there.
Precisely. Like it's all just fucking capitalist propaganda that makes you think that every one of these fucking multi-billionaires started from nothing and worked their way up. Like Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a pretty cool story. Like he fucking built the whole
Bill
thing.
Gates worked hard.
He did a whole thing, and then he stopped working hard, and literally
kept getting richer.
All he does is get richer. All he does is get richer. And it's like, there's a certain point where you can be like, hey, this guy really put in the time and effort and made some good money. And then this guy knows a lot of fancy-ass people, sells a lot of stocks, made a product that had never been seen before. Like, that's not shit that happens all the fucking time. That's something that happens like once every 50 generations. It's not something to look up to. It's just something that happens. This guy isn't any fucking kind of special or smart because he has a bunch of financial advisors and stock investors and fucking people running his shit for him. And literally his whole job is to sit there and make money. Not earn money.
Now he has time to work on other stuff too.
Exactly.
He's completely freed up. So like, yeah, of course he's going to be doing like now he's going to get to do up to some good stuff like the vaccine stuff he tries to do.
How much paperwork do you think he's sitting there doing? How much time do you think Bill Gates is sitting there behind a desk like making Microsoft run?
And it doesn't mean that he's like a bad guy, but like at the same time, it's like maybe we should be, because people are like, well, now he can do all these good things, and it's like that's true. Maybe we should be trying to figure out why we've got a society where you have to get to such an absurd level of fucking wealth to even be able to start building mechanisms that could help someone.
Also, like the whole thing, like, oh well, now he can go do all these good things. Sweet. Why isn't he? Why is he only doing a couple of good things, and then the rest of the time he's fucking sitting there on billions of dollars that we need to eat?
Yeah.
Like, why is it that we still have so many people that are struggling for the basic necessities? Why is it that I'm sitting here literally just staring at the ceiling, stressed the fuck out, wondering when I'm going to be able to go to a doctor, when I'm going to be able to fucking get my teeth fixed, when I'm going to be able to fucking get a new car someday that doesn't fucking stutter and sputter and like when am I going to be able to get like a decent house to live in? When am I going to have all these things? And fucking these people are just sitting there like, yeah.
Then it's tough.
I gave like $1,000 scholarship once.
It's
super
tough
cool
because I don't want to be like, oh, anybody who has been successful like owes everyone else a piece of their money.
Right.
It's not true. But there's got to be a fucking limit.
But nobody's an island though. Like that's the thing.
No. You don't get to reach those heights in like most places.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, without her actually killing people and
precisely. These people not only like do they owe it to everybody else because they fucking earned that money off the backs of everybody else, but also like these industries by just existing are fucking causing damage. So like this is something that you should be paying. Like capitalism has to be a cycle. It has to be you're giving back. You fucking owe it to everybody that gave you that much money. You didn't fucking earn that money by yourself.
Obsessed capitalists, like really hardcore capitalists, are obsessed with growth, and they don't understand that you cannot have unlimited growth.
It doesn't make any sense.
Like you can't have unlimited growth because first of all, like, and the people will be like, well, the population's always getting bigger, and I'm like, that's like saying new stuff is always dying, so we'll never run out of oil.
Exactly.
It doesn't really make sense. Like eventually, you're gonna reach a point where everybody pretty much has a thing. Yeah, sure. There's a new crop of buyers coming up every year. I understand that. But if they're already fucking poured out of the economy,
right?
That's a horrible way to say that.
Right.
But like basically what I'm saying is like if you graduate high school and you're already fucked.
Yeah.
what difference does it make if there's more people to buy more shit?
Right, precisely. Like, where's that money going to come from?
And you're telling me these people who are going to buy more shit also need to work harder and make sure that they can go to college and get better jobs, because if they work at Wendy's, they can't afford the shit that you're trying to sell. The economy is kind of a joke, almost like the holidays.
Right. Well, that's the big thing that I'm thinking. It's like we have this lie of not having enough. We have this lie of like supply and demand, and it's like, oh, we
scarcity.
Scarcity. That's the word I was looking for.
I say it a lot. The scarcity mindset drives the economy.
Exactly.
Which is true.
Because like, what's the actual?
I didn't invent that, but I say it a lot.
Exactly. What's the actual situation right now is that we have more. The U.S. wastes enough food to end world hunger. We throw away enough food to do that. So we have all the food to feed all the people in the world. The only problem is there just isn't enough money to buy it.
Do you remember?
What is that?
Yeah, during the pandemic, this got really bad.
Yeah.
Because they had like particularly good yields and stuff. Like I remember there was potato farmers that had like it was a great year for them.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit.
And they would just throw it the fuck away.
They were burying it in holes and shit, and they were throwing them away.
I remember
they were like, we don't have anywhere to go, and there's nowhere to take it, and even the trucks that are showing up are full already. Like,
yeah. Wasn't it Highland that was like literally just dumping milk, and they had crowds of people outside like, hey, we are hungry, and they were like, we'd rather fucking throw it in the trash and give it to you for free because then you won't buy it. And it's like that's the world we live in. We have enough food to feed every person. There's not enough money to buy it all. And that's fucking insanity to me. That can't be reality. Like that's not fucking normal. That's not okay. The problem is that it is normal, I suppose. Like that's not acceptable at all. And like I keep going back to the same shit that, you know, every freshman in college, every fucking 18-year-old dick who fucking goes to college for the first time and comes out, it's like, it's all just fucking fake society, man. It's just corporations.
I know.
And I'm still that kid at 28 sitting here like fucking, you guys know this is all made up, right? You guys know this isn't real.
As we're sitting here trying to like build a company.
Precisely.
From the ground
Precisely.
up. We're like also preaching how fucking ridiculous it is.
I'm trying to make Valkai Labs into a real thing that's telling people that all this shit is fucking fake.
Bendrix Media is my jet that's going to propel me into the future, and I don't give a fuck if I die creating it.
Exactly. Just as long as I'm doing something.
That being said, it's ridiculous. The only thing that's good is that I finally put aside all my bullshit and said, like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm going to do, and this will eventually make money, probably.
And I don't even know what it's going to turn into, man. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I just know that I want to do something more than just fucking beat. I know. I'm just saying, like, I'm still growing up. I'm
a starry-eyed little boy.
I'm just a little boy.
And it's like, shut up and go shave.
Oh my god, that's a real thing. I have to do that more often. I used to only have to do that like once every few days. Now it's like every day I look like a hobo, and I'm like, oh shit.
You actually have like a real 5 o'clock shadow. Remember whenever you would get like a little stubble back in the day, and you'd be like, I got shadow.
I'll wear this for a few days and feel like a grown up. No, now I just realize I'm recording videos and I'm like, oh, I look like shit. Fuck.
I know I look like shit. I need to trim this beard so bad. I'm glad we're not using the camera today because I was supposed to trim it before.
We don't have to. We saved the episode.
You saved the episode. I didn't do anything.
Oh my god, I was so stressed out. I drank a lot of tea. Just laid here on this couch just fucking feeling like bullshit.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess at the end of the day, what I really want to say is capitalism is fake.
Yeah.
Money is fake.
Yeah.
Holidays are fake.
Yeah.
Freedoms are fake.
Yeah.
This podcast is fake.
This podcast is the only real thing.
No, you know what though? Like really, it's ultimately it all still comes back to the conundrum of fucking imposter syndrome, which is like, am I gonna be like this one day? Am I gonna make enough money to be a complete piece of shit?
I'll put it out there right now.
And will I choose to be better than these people, or will I come up against whatever stops them from doing it?
I'll put it out there right now. Is that I
don't think I'll ever be a billionaire.
I do want to be wealthy enough to like take care of myself and my family. That's what I want. Of course. I don't ever want to be a billionaire. And if I'm ever a fucking billionaire or something, and I'm not like fucking Tony Stark running around and fixing problems with my money and not just sitting there on it like a fucking asshole, I want you to play this clip of me and then also probably like shoot me.
No,
like,
I can't do that.
Just
the
do
thing
something.
That sucks
Get me out
of
the way.
Is like I know I'm a hypocrite.
We all are to
To
some
some
degree.
extent, you have to
But,
be.
like-
Knowing you're a hypocrite is half the battle. But like, I know I am. Like, I know because I can sit here and talk about how everything should be free and we should take care of each other all I want. But deep down, I just want to take care of my family and myself.
Well,
But I also want to fix the world. I just like I feel like that's such a gargantuan thing, and you have to narrow your scope.
Well, of course, but if you have like it's crazy because when we talk about like we bitch about Jeff Bezos all the time, but like literally,
I just like his name.
It's not an exaggeration. It's not a hyperbole to say that this person has an unimaginable amount of money. It's money like you literally can't fathom it.
He can't spend it.
It's enough money to end world hunger, to end homelessness in America, to make sure every single veteran has affordable health, to make sure every person has free college, to make sure every person has free health care, to make sure every person has food security. And he would still be rich as fuck after doing all of those things. It is an unbelievable amount of money. It's not
like
just,
guy...
oh, he's so rich and you're just mad because he's rich. No, it literally is an unimaginable amount of money.
I know we've talked about it.
It's an amount of money you actually can't physically wrap your head around.
It's pretty hard to fucking actually think about. Dude, I know we've talked about it, but did we ever talk? I don't know if we talked about it. Did you ever watch the video? The guy with the rice.
Yeah. Explain it just in case.
So he has the. You'll have to look. It was. I think he did a TikTok, but you can also find it on
YouTube.
YouTube and everything now. But there's this one guy. I don't know his name, but he was a cool dude. He did. He's an economist, and he did. I think. And basically, what he did was he took grains of rice, and each grain of rice represented a certain quantity of money.
It was like $100,000.
Yeah, and he showed like what most people will make in their lifetime, which is a couple. You get a couple grains of rice.
It was like the size of your thumb, like a little
yeah, like your thumbnail.
Yeah,
a little bit of rice. And then he showed what like certain rich people have.
And it was like, maybe the size of a quarter.
Good pile of rice.
Yeah.
Pile of rice.
And he's like, here's the amount of money that it would take to like solve this huge world problem that we've been trying to solve for years.
And it's like maybe like what would you say, like a cup size?
Yeah, like a little like the diameter of a baseball. Little
little scoop. Scoop of rice. Like that'll solve the problem.
He's like,
and
you
then
see
he
how much
starts
that is.
showing Jeff Bezos' wealth, and it's like, okay, so here's the first bag. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he pours that out. So it's like, so go watch that video, look at the visual comparison so you can see, because it's not made up. That's real.
Yeah, and he's like,
he measured that out. He took the time to measure it out. And
if Jeff Bezos paid taxes like you did, it would be this much. And he just takes out like a huge pile that's enough to like completely just swallow up all the smaller piles. And there's still a fucking mountain of rice over there. Yeah, I remember that video. And it's so powerful.
And then people's argument with shit like that too will be like, well, he pays the taxes, the government doesn't do what they're supposed to with the taxes, blah 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 blah. And it's like, fair point.
Rad, that's a problem too, but still.
Let's fix that. Oh, you mean there's corruption in the government?
Oh shit.
Oh.
If we can't solve everything, I guess let's not try. Like just do a thing. Just do a thing. God, we're on 2 hours now. We're gonna wrap up.
We'll have to wrap it up. I just don't understand how these people can have they can have this shitty, bitter outlook on the world, and then like also still have more positivity about all this other shit, like about being a part of it, than I am. Like, I'm one of the most bitter people I know, and I'm like, but we can fix these problems. But these other people will be like cynical and bitter, like, yeah, the government won't do anything. People are stupid. They don't deserve anything. Fuck everything. Fuck it all. But let's, we got to make our money.
Yeah.
But let's do it. Let's make sure we get our shit taken. Fuck you. I got mine.
Exactly.
And I'm tired of it.
I'm tired of that, and I'm tired
of it.
I'm tired of people who fucking tell me all day about how corrupt the government is and how terrible it is and how there's no fucking good cops.
I'm also tired of looking at the. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine.
Sorry, but I'm tired of these Zoomers coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of them looking at me like I fucking let them down.
I'm
tired of them. They're like, you guys are old. You just don't understand. And it's like, no, stop. Maybe I don't fully understand because I am old.
Right.
But I agree with you about so much.
You have no idea.
You don't get it.
I'm just fucking trapped, bro. You don't understand how trapped I am.
And I think it's great that you're picking up the torch, because like when I was younger and I had more time, I was doing this stuff.
Right.
And now I have less time. I have a family. I want to build a company, but I don't want to become an evil corporate overlord.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. And I don't want to. I see a lot of people in our generation and I'm taking even more time, and I'm sorry.
You're fine.
But I see a lot of people in our generation starting to turn their backs on these younger kids. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, you don't have to understand them to support them.
Well, so two things. First of all, the thing that I was saying, the complete thought was, I'm tired of fucking people saying, oh, yeah, there's bad cops, and yeah, the government's corrupt and shit, and then they turn right around and they're like, fucking, we can't have socialism, we got to keep our democracy the way it is, we got to preserve. Yeah, and they keep...
Exactly.
We have the lowest government satisfaction rate in the entire fucking world. We have the highest re-election rate in the entire fucking world. And when you ask people why, they're like, oh, they know what they're doing, look at them, they're great, they know what they're doing. Like, yeah, they know what they're fucking doing. They're lying to you and they're getting free healthcare because they fucking know what they're doing. That's what their whole job is. And like, I hate bootlickers. I'm so fucking sick of it. If you have a fucking problem with it, change it.
In any capacity.
Seriously, if you have a fucking problem with it, change it. Quit fucking thanking people for hitting you. Like, the people who are like, oh, just comply. Like, yeah, just fucking obey orders and do what you're told.
Why
maybe
do you
they
think
won't
the
beat you as
Democrats
much.
Don't get any fucking like points from me like most of the time.
Seriously, good
I'm
God.
not going to lick my quote unquote party's boots.
Exactly.
Because I know they're just as bad.
They're just as fucking bad. It's disgusting.
They're honestly worse. Like the thing with it, like they're not worse, but they can be.
Yeah.
The thing is like it's basically like. I was watching Jim Sterling last night. I was catching up on some of their YouTube stuff, and one of their quotes was, "I got to keep saying the right things." One of their quotes, because I'm like losing track of what I was thinking. Fuck.
You all right?
What was I talking about? Jim Sterling.
Yeah.
Talking about what were we talking about?
I was talking about bootlickers.
Democrats.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they were like talking about the Democrats. So they were like, it's not the party because it's LGBTQ plus all that, those things. And so they were like, it's not that the Democrats are the party that's going to help me. Mm-hmm. They're the party that doesn't want me dead.
Right.
And they said they were like the Democrats are like, we'll let you die.
Right.
We're not going to kill you.
We're not trying. Exactly.
We're not going to kill you.
Exactly.
But we'll let you die. And I was like, that's like the best description of the Democratic Party I've heard in a long time.
Absolutely.
We won't actively kill you.
Right. We'll just let it happen and fucking bitch.
But also in watching some of those episodes, I kind of had a little bit of a wake up call because I didn't realize how bad things were getting right now for like trans people.
Oh, it's awful. The amount of them they're being like fucking.
I was kind of under the impression that things were getting a little bit better.
No, they're being murdered.
They're actually getting way worse.
Yeah.
And so I just want to come out 100% and say that I love you. And everything that's going on is wrong.
Yeah.
And we'll fix it. I don't know when, I don't know how, but we're going to fix it and stay safe. And fuck these people that think you shouldn't have a right to exist.
Seriously. Like, that's what fucking kills me.
Because
man.
I know some really amazing people who are trans.
Yeah.
And anybody who wants to hurt them can fucking blow me.
I have students.
Sorry. I don't give a shit. I'm not sorry. I don't give a shit. These are my people. I don't give a fuck.
I've had
Go
students.
fuck yourself. You don't have to understand it to treat them like human beings.
That's the whole thing. I've had students who've come out to me before they fucking come out to their families. And like they like come talk to me because like we talk about the biology of gender and shit.
I would never come out as trans.
Well, you're not trans.
I'm not trans, right? But I'm saying, like, if I were, because I've thought about it, and I was like, I'm not, and that was pretty much the end of it. I realized that, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And but like, I even if I felt like I was, I don't think I would ever come out.
Right.
I don't think I would.
Not in this fucking world. But like that, what I'm saying is, I have students that fucking come out to me, and like I don't have a solid classroom. I get hired by people, by schools, by homeschool associations, by libraries, by colleges. I get hired to go out and do shows or workshops or classes or whatever it may be. The most I'm ever seeing a group is like, I might see you for like an hour a week for like a 10-week block or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember half these kids' names. I can't.
But you present as somebody.
can't.
I don't know why I said present. But you present as somebody who's safe to have that conversation.
Exactly. Well, and also, yeah, I'm their teacher. I'm there. And, like, I don't remember these kids' names, but I fucking love every one of them. And, like, these kids, they talk to me about this shit. I might not remember where I know you from, but I know that if anybody tries to treat you like shit, I'm going to fucking cut them.
Like,
I take care of this kid.
One person came out to me a long time ago in like middle school and high school about being gay. And I don't even remember who it is, which is good because that means I kept the secret. Hopefully they're allowed to be themselves by now.
Right.
But like, I mean, and back then, I still kind of had some like weird opinions about it. Like I was fine with it because I've always kind of been on the side of like let people be people.
Right.
Even when I didn't understand things. But back then I was still like, this is middle school, high school. I mean, I'm still using like words like gay and retarded left and right.
Right.
Calling people the F word.
Yeah.
Like for fun. Not in a hostile way, but it's still like, it
tease,
is that way.
Yeah.
But at the time I didn't know. And
I remember trying those words out.
Yeah. So I was, I was fucking like 13,
Every 13-year-old does this. You're testing out words to see how they
feel.
but
my friend came out to me and I was like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I didn't even make the connection between the way I always acted and still continued to act for a little while after that.
Yeah.
And the way everybody treated him. But I also didn't understand why that happened at that point in time. Like, they came out to me because I was like one of the only people. We were in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the only people that even seemed remotely like they might not beat the fuck out of him for saying it.
Right.
So, like, and like, I can't imagine, because I feel alone now with certain things. I can't imagine what it would have been like to feel that way in that town.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like a thing that goes on now. So just feeling that way is bad enough, and now you've got people that want to kill you.
Yeah.
Add people that want to kill you.
That's the thing,
people
man.
that want to kill you. The thing, what's really fucking me up is this thing with genital checking.
Oh, fuck me. Did you hear about the school that was like, we can now check your genitals before you get on the fucking, like, sports teams and shit like that?
And
like,
here's the thing.
I think the bill didn't specifically say that. It just said shit like we can confirm your gender and something like that. And, like, they didn't specify how, but everyone was like, hey, this is allowed now. You know that, right? And they're like, well, that's fine. And, like, what? Like, fuck you. If anybody, like, that's the thing. Check your microaggressions. Check to see how things you say might come across to somebody else, might come across to people in certain situations. The other, like, I was
if I say something fucked up, tell me, too.
I'm working on a fundraiser right now. And as part of the fundraiser, the announcement's already up. So next week on next Sunday, a week from today, I'm doing a fundraiser on TikTok. And one of the things, some other successful fundraisers that I've seen, they asked people, like, what do you want to do? Like, what kind of things can I do to get you to donate money? And they were like, oh, you and your girlfriend or whatever, like, switch clothes. And, like, they would wear their girlfriend's clothes and the girlfriend would wear. And so
which is
I was
funny because one person's usually, like, bigger than
exactly. And so, like, it's all awkward. And so I wanted to do something like that. I was like, hey, if that's something people want to do, I'd do it. It'd be funny. And so I made an announcement video, and I was like, I'll fucking put on a dress and do, it'll be fun. And then I stopped and had to think about that. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's funny to me because that's something that I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
But there are lots of men who would like to wear a dress, and I don't want to come across as saying, like, how absurd this would be, and I would wear a dress. You know what I mean?
It's
How's that going to sound to them?
absurd that you would wear a dress, but it's not. I
it's not absurd that a man would, and that's how it's going to sound.
We're going to have to talk about this again.
Exactly.
Because this is a really interesting topic, and it is one of those things where, like, first of all, I know you're on TikTok. I know you saw the dudes when the trend was going around, guys putting on their girlfriends and wives like sundresses and shit, and like checking themselves out. And, like,
and they're like, holy shit.
Some of those dudes look good in those fucking dresses, and it confused the hell out of me. But anyway, but it is like, so it's one of those things. Like, first of all, I think eventually we're gonna get to the point where it's like people are just gonna wear clothes again.
I hope so,
and we'll just call them clothes.
I hope so,
and people will be like, so like your friend fucking Robert's gonna show up, and you're gonna be like, whoa, Robert, that is a stunning sundress, and it'll be normal. Because I don't think it's a fucking problem.
Yeah. Wear what you fucking want to wear.
To me, at first, when I first thought about it, it was kind of weird. And then I was like, I got over it like pretty quickly. And I was like, actually, people should just wear whatever the fuck they want. Because it's cloth covering your balls. Who gives a shit?
The only reason I don't wear fucking...
or whatever, you know?
The only reason I don't wear dresses or nail polish and shit like that is because it sounds uncomfortable. I don't want to keep up with it. I don't want to paint my nails because it sounds fucking like something I have to fiddle with.
And you don't want to deal with the bullshit.
And then wearing a dress or whatever, it's just like
flopping. Be honest, Forrest. Do you want to walk around and have somebody comment on your dress?
Oh, I don't give half a fuck. I love controversy. I don't give half a fuck.
That's fair.
I'll punch a father, but I don't care.
But then you're doing it for the controversy. Is that insulting?
Oh, yeah. No, if I was doing it just to get attention, then yes. That would be insulting to people who actually just want to.
Because I know people who, like, I know men who wear dresses and women's clothes because they actually like it. They like the way it feels. They like the way it makes them look. And they look great in them.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I guess I need to ask them how they feel.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do.
That's a good
I need
idea,
to stop sitting here on the couch and guessing and go start asking people who have different perspectives.
Like how they're feeling about it. Yeah, man, absolutely.
Or just comment. I know you guys are listening.
Yeah, tell if you are a man who wears dresses, or I guess women
I don't
wearing
give a
traditionally
fuck. Whoever
masculine
you are,
clothes
whatever
is more of a thing
you
now.
are, let us know and tell us.
Yeah.
And anytime we ever say anything that you think we could be, like, you need to enlighten us. Enlighten us. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, by all means. Like, we're always here to listen, man.
It's time to learn.
We're not here to fucking...
So we've did the podcast way too much.
Be gone, did it. We've been done another, like, almost 45 minutes. This is a long fucking episode. It's going to take an hour and a half to export. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll wrap up here.
Yeah, we need to.
I think it's a good idea. Next time we'll talk about like gender roles and. Like,
I think we should. I think we'll try to come back to that. Gender roles is fun.
Yeah.
Because first of all, like I just started reevaluating my opinions. Like we'll say in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
About gender norms and stuff. I did eventually come to the conclusion, like, okay, well, I'm a man and I'm gonna stay a man. That's reality.
And what does that mean to you? Is the whole thing?
And that's the thing. Is like, so. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And there's things I don't even know. I'm not ready to talk about on the podcast necessarily, but there's things that call my like. It's I wish that I could be a certain way and it wouldn't call my manhood into question.
Right.
Like I wish I could genuinely be my true self.
Mm-hmm.
And people wouldn't be like, "Oh, that makes you less of a man."
Right.
But they do.
Oh no, I get that all the time. That's absolutely we should talk about
and
that.
And then again,
like,
what the fuck is being a man anyway?
Precisely.
So
we should absolutely talk about that because
is it the fact that I go to work every day and take care of my family? Is that good enough to be a man? Like
seriously, I want to talk about that very much because there are several things that I do that people say that I'm not a real man for doing, and I want to get them out there, and I want to actually say
lemon water.
Oh my god,
have you seen those memes?
No,
where they're like, is it gay to drink lemon? Like women will post like tweets and stuff. They'll be like, no offense, but like if I see a man order a lemon water, that's hella suspicious. Or some shit. Like, yeah, he's like, he must be a closet homo. And it's like, what? It's first of all, it's good for your joints.
And it tastes nice.
And it tastes nice. But the biggest thing is it's good for your joints. It helps with acidic buildup if you drink a little bit of lemon water. There's something it does.
I don't believe you, but like I'll look it up.
No. Look it up. It does something. Lemon, not lemon. It's the citrus.
Oh yeah.
There's a little bit of citrus is good for part of your body somehow.
Yeah.
You know. You look it up. You're a scientist. But on top of that, it just fucking tastes good.
Yeah.
I love lemon water. It's refreshing as fuck on a Sunday day. Happy 4th, everyone.
I hope you have a great one.
I hope you like this. It's extra long podcast.
Enjoy blowing stuff up. And hopefully, I can't fucking afford fireworks.
The economy is fake. The government is fake. The holidays are fake.
Everything sucks. And everybody's going to die.
God is fake.